2, 1. And we're back. Another episode of Topshelfers podcast. We're doing the late show tonight. Super excited. And I hope everyone else who's been a long-time listener is. We're up to 3 sponsors now. And needless to say, 2021's been an awesome year for that. And really wasn't expecting it. So let's go through it. Monarch Social. Listen, if you guys are looking to step up your business, whether that be you want to start scaling it or you want to get it cleaned up and professional, Monarch Social is the way to go. From PPC, website design and building, SEO, which if you guys aren't on the SEO bandwagon, you really need to be, all the way down to posting. And I'm telling any YouTube, Twitch partner, if you want to get some solid posts in, some real engaging posts, Monarch Social is the way to go. Go check them out at monarchsocialbrand.com. Second, you guys saw Jason a couple weeks ago, Dark Prime Collectibles. The new Magic the Gathering Remastered set, time-lapse, just came out. Go head up to Dark Prime Collectibles, they're up in Clearfield, and pick up your booster box. And hang out. You're not only going to find a bunch of cool people, but honestly, you'll find a whole bunch of different nostalgic items. The first time I went up there, I saw action figures that I grew up with, action figures that my dad talked about. Like, the variety there is amazing. So that's Dark Prime Collectibles up in Clearfield, Utah. They also have an online store, so if you don't want to go in person yet, you can shop online, order it, they'll have it delivered. Last but not least, Hepius. You guys are familiar with them. Hepius Med, premium CBD that's not going to break the bank. They have a product for everyone, and I've got my second dose of their number 4. Makes me feel good. I've been using Hepius products every day. I don't know where my little bottle is. Just kidding. Just kidding. Can't grab it. Number 2. Sorry. Broad Spectrum. Use it every day. Love it. Go check them out. HepiusMed.com. My cat's going to be a guest, but it's HepiusMed.com, and you can check him out on Facebook as well. Mr. Meowgie, you've seen him a couple times. He's a guest tonight, but Ryan, you're back.
I am back.
It's been what? A couple months now?
Probably 3.
We did the one with Kyle.
I think that was the last one we did.
And then, yeah, because you came on by yourself. We talked about archaeology.
And all sorts of other things.
Yeah, all sorts of other things. And we had Kyle on, which was...
It was a good show.
That was a good episode because, you know, we were talking about him prior to him coming on, like just me and you on the...
Yeah.
You know, me and you shooting the shit about life. And
yeah.
It was a trip, but it was one of those episodes where I was like, it's good to know, like... I don't know, like... It's not that I assume people fell down certain paths, but it was good to see, like, someone where I was like, I don't know what Kyle would be like as an adult. And he's very productive and,
I was
living a good life.
From the last things I heard of him, I was actually rather impressed.
Yeah.
He did great.
Yeah, I was impressed too. And it was cool to be like, it was just cool to reconnect with old friends and be like, man.
We still need to get Eric on the show.
I would love to. Even if it's a Zoom call.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Talked to him about a month ago, I think.
Yeah, how's he doing?
It's good.
No?
I don't really remember much of our conversation, but
do you have any kids yet?
Yeah, he's got one.
One?
Married and has one.
Little Eric running around.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
That's the one thing that's kind of been blowing my mind is like, you know, you remember Manuel, he just had
a kid.
Yeah,
I have him on Snapchat, so I see that one all the time.
Yeah, a little adorable.
Yeah.
It's weird to start thinking that, you know, the people we grew up with are like really starting families.
I'll be honest, driving down this road tripped a lot of memories from high school. Yeah, because, I mean, there were a bunch of people I hung out with on this road.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, this whole neighborhood down here is still like, I still love going up to Mills Park and just like walking around, or I'm trying to get back into longboarding and that's not going well, but
hey, longboarding's a good one.
Yeah, longboarding is a good one, but it's just such a nostalgia trip. And I was just telling my fiance, I don't know if it was my fiance or one of my new friends, that the Lee Kubik story where he fucking booted that rat when we were all together. Just like such weird, like
weird occurrences.
Yeah, like that was such a weird day that, because you were there.
I was.
And that was me, you, Eric, Lee, maybe Cody?
Nah, I don't remember.
I didn't hang out with Cody a lot.
I didn't either.
Maybe it was just us. So for those of you who want to hear the story, so we had just recently, was that the potato launcher day?
No, because it's the. Actually, it might have been. It might have been that later that night we did the same thing, but I don't think Lee and Eric were there for that.
Oh, okay. So we were walking. At the time I lived down in Woods Cross, Utah, and we were walking up the street. Were we gonna go to the park and play football or basketball or something then?
I think we were gonna play football. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were gonna play some tag football, I believe.
And we see these people in this house like screaming, and they're like, "Get it!" And I was like, "What the hell?" And next thing you know, we see this like giant rat. Like, and I'm not talking like a little fucking like mouse.
Think New York State rat.
Yeah, that thing was.
They're cat sized.
Yeah, it was a beef boy, and without hesitation, our friend at the time, Lee, goes over and just boots that rat.
Punts it like a football.
Like 20 yards. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And those people were like, yeah, we got him. And I want to know what. We should go back and like try and talk to those people and be like, you guys remember that rat?
I wonder if they still live there.
Because that was just so weird. Hey, what's up, chat? Nick, you looking for a wife? Hey, come on, my guy. I'll take sweet care of you. What's up, Stingray? Deej, hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, Lee's doing pretty good with his life too, from what I understand.
You know, Lee was. There's people that I remember growing up with that I really looked up to. Lee was one of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, pretty straight edge, straight arrow all the way through high school. Like, had a plan, stuck with it, but was also really good at wrestling. Like, took that pretty serious.
Came and did our stats for our junior jazz.
Yeah,
league.
did the stats.
That was pretty fun.
Went right to college like he planned and went into his career that he...
communications.
Yep, that he wanted. And I think he still does stuff with sports, right?
Yeah, he does.
So, I mean, it's just...
He's in Arizona, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah.
So, Eric's out in Florida.
Yeah.
And then Lee's in Arizona.
Yeah.
I wonder... Remember their sister, right? The little sister?
Katie?
Yeah. I wonder... How old would she be nowadays?
She'd be 16, I think. Or close to.
That makes me sick.
Yeah.
I remember going over there and she would call me Big B.
Yeah. Well, let's see. She was 7 or 8 when we were hanging out. So, and it's been about 8 or so years since then.
So
that'd be my guess. 16 or 17.
Man, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's insane.
It really is. I tried telling this to maybe it was chat not too long ago. Like when you're like 15 through like 18, like it seems like time's really slow.
Yeah.
Because you're doing shit like high school isn't what anyone really wants to do. You know, and
that's
like,
for sure.
You can make high school fun, but no one wants to wake up and go to school. And even like those first couple years out of high school, you're like trying to find yourself and like figure out what you want to do. Dude, after that, like 21 plus, time flies.
Yeah, same thing every day, right?
Yeah, same thing every day, and like.
Yeah, I was having that issue before I changed careers, actually.
No.
Yeah, a lot more so than now.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's just one of those things where like we don't want to get into routine, right? Because like routine is one of those things where next thing you know, you're 40 and you're like, man, I haven't even left Utah in like 20 years, you know. And then but routine's good for a lot of things. I just don't know. That balance is.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, that is life.
Yeah.
Figuring it out. Yeah. Especially with COVID and everything. I mean, traveling's been kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, the last thing that I was able to go do was me and my fiance went up to, I always forget the name.
Jackson Hole?
Jackson Hole, yeah.
I texted you when you were up there.
So fucking. Your memory is like. I'm jealous. Yeah, Jackson Hole, and. That was the last any traveling I did, and even that was Jackson Hole is very. I always get my politics mixed up, but they were very meh about masks and stuff. So like you still had to wear them to go into stores, but people were still like, and yeah, that was the last thing where I was like really went out because what are you gonna go do?
Yeah, there's not a lot to do.
Especially during like winter times, like where we live, if you don't ski or snowboard, where are you gonna go? That's close.
I found a couple hobbies to keep up my time.
Yeah?
Yeah, archery and bowling.
I knew you were doing bowling.
Yeah, so a friend of mine who's actually plays Magic as well.
Okay.
He's been an archer for like 17 years. And
wow.
He's like, come shoot bows. And I was like, no, I thoroughly enjoyed that when I was a Boy Scout, so why not? And now I'm doing that every weekend.
Do you plan on like hunting, or you just like the archery aspect?
I like both. I like the target aspect. I'm thinking about doing elk maybe, because I do enjoy elk meat, but
yeah,
it's a far cry from shooting a target that doesn't move and trying not to, and sneaking up on things.
What's weird is like I've actually gone through a weird mindset shift when it comes to stuff like that. I was never anti-hunter by any stretch.
Yeah, neither was I.
But I wasn't necessarily like, yeah, go and do it. But
yeah, I mean, I've hunted once. And it was an okay experience.
Yeah,
it was just pheasant hunting with a shotgun. So
right.
I mean, it wasn't, and it was like super like as close to glamping / like glunting or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Hunting, because it was at a hunting club. They released the birds the day before.
Oh, okay.
They were chicken feed like fed or like corn fed, and then you had dogs with you. So all it was like a stroll with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And this bird randomly flew up out of nowhere.
You know what's weird is I actually changed a lot of my minds watching Meat Eater. Have you ever delved into that show? I've heard
that's a good show. My cousin actually wanted me to watch that.
So I heard about Meat Eater through a lot of people, the same way a lot of people did, which was Rogan. And the show's made and I think directed by Steve Rinella, who is a hunter. Like, that's just his career. And I don't know if it's the way that he is or the way that he is able to explain how he looks at hunting, but it completely changed my whole entire mindset on it. Like, it's so much more... I don't like the word spiritual, but the way that he makes it is much more of him bonding with nature instead of like, hey brother, let's go out there and wrangle us some meat. Like, it's not about that. And like, he goes and argues with these people who are saying that he's killing, and he's all like, I bet you $1 million that I know more about those elk than you do. I'm out there with them all the time.
Yeah.
I know how they act. I know their personalities. And he's like, it just like the way that he talked about it, I was like, man, that really makes me way more interested.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like the people you go with. Yeah. I mean that's a lot of the different activities, but for sure that is one of them for sure.
Hey Wes, I'm getting a new chair. Want me to bring one of the extras over tomorrow? Yes, please, Deej. That would be appreciative. I would. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I've only ever been urban hunting. I don't know what urban hunting means.
Ever been urban hunting? Is that like
pheasants?
Yeah, it might be like pheasants. Kind of a similar thing I did. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, one of my cousins, he like backpacks 10 miles in and then carries his elk out.
Yeah.
So running over different cats. Oh god.
No, I talked to Cody. We all went to school with Cody Staley. He was on a week ago.
Cody Staley. Okay, I was thinking the other Cody. What's his name?
Samuelson?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to Samuelson since high school. Good. No, Staley was friends with like Sheldon and
I remember who he is.
And he's a big hunter too. And talking to him too, I was like, he has a good mindset about it as well. And I was just, it's interesting. Like, hey, what's up, Go Eagles? I don't know. I couldn't do it right now. There's no way. There's no way I could backpack in 10 miles and backpack out a fucking 300. Yeah, like 300 pounds of elk meat. Like, there's no way. But it's definitely a goal that is worth working towards in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it for me is like, what do you plan on using it for? If you're just out there to kill something, like, what the hell's the point?
Exactly, and I'm definitely more, I want to be able to have that moment where I eat my own meat.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's weird, but like,
it sounds so
it
good
just
right now.
something about that where you're like, man, I bet it makes the food better, even if you don't know how to cook well. Like if you grill up your own steak on like the fucking grill, and you're like, wait, I went out, I put in the work to get this, I brought it back, and I'm cooking it. Oh, what's up? What's up, Atticus? My boy. Wouldn't it be better number-wise to urban hunt by releasing more cats in the neighborhood? Do they kill? I don't want to get into that. There's a cat chilling in front of me, and it gets sad even thinking about him dying. So let's talk. You are now full-time coding.
Yes.
You love it?
I do. It definitely is a challenge, which is the point. Because at my previous job, I mean, even... So previous company, I guess, because I guess I've had 2 jobs at this current company, but my previous company, I mean, I was just running a loader in a mine. So I didn't really have much of a challenge. It honestly wasn't hard to do my daily job. It wasn't hard. And I looked over at this, the other loader hand that was working with me. He's a 68, he's probably 70 now. And I was looking over and I was just like, you know, if I blink, I'm going to turn into that. And I'm not sure I'd be happy with that life. Not that his life is any less important or as cool as mine. I mean, he's an amazing dude. Like, I thoroughly enjoy that guy. But I just looked over and I was like, you know, he's been running a loader for 40 years. And he makes $3 more an hour than I do.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't think I can stomach that for the rest of my life.
That's kind of the same exact thing that happened to me. Is like, I just, you know, I'm super happy with this new venture I'm in, and it's very challenging, but I can see the big rewarding potential. But it's that challenge, right? Is like, that's what makes it enjoyable. Is like, it's not just go in and do the same thing every day and then go home with a paycheck. Like, and I get it. Like, there's a lot of people who love that, and I'm not bashing that at all. Like, I wish at my core I was happy with that.
Yeah.
You know, I wish that I was happy with like going working for a company and like not having like just being able to make that steady paycheck and like, you know, advance in the world and whatnot. But you know, I like something a little bit more, I don't know, like you're really earning your money.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like mentally challenging. It's like I just felt like I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, in the year and a half I worked in that mine, I went from a water truck driver, which is the lowest paid job and like lowest skill wise, all the way to their lead loader operator.
Right.
Well, okay, not lead. I mean, I was one of their operators that could operate any of their machines.
Right.
Essentially. So I went from essentially nothing to one of their higher ups running the machinery. So it's like, okay, and I did that in a year. Well, this next year, where's the rate? Like, where's the room to grow the next year? Like, I'm already at one of the top positions. I don't.
Yeah.
So, I decided to quit. It was an unfortunate timing to quit, but it worked.
Was that right when COVID hit?
So I quit February 12th last year, and then I started my class. I think it was February 14th or 15th, and about halfway through it was when the major shutdown went down. So we went from in-person class, which is the reason why I picked the coding school I did, and went to online.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was good. I did not enjoy the online as much as I did in person, but it was good. Then from there, it was... I got a job at one of my family members' companies as a service technician. And it was a good job.
Yeah.
Was not what I wanted to do, especially right after spending so much money on a coding class. But I took it. It was a job, needed the money, and then it also offered the opportunity to move into the coding part of the job. So about 2 months ago, I moved full time into coding.
Yeah, congratulations.
And it's crazy but fun. I am currently developing a UI for a robot.
Oh, I mean I hear stuff like that and I'm just like, I bet not only are you super excited to work on that, but I bet it's so much more rewarding. Because like
it is super cool.
Seeing like the progress.
Yeah, we were moving very quickly, but it's fascinating. Like what I'm doing, I really enjoy it. And the really cool part is I'm one of three junior devs on the team. So all of the other 8 people on my team are all senior devs that have been doing this for 20 years. So it's just like they're just like fonts of knowledge. It's amazing. I really enjoy it. Having
those like mentors.
Oh yeah,
like, people who you can just pick their brain because they've been doing it is just.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
What's up, Staley Outdoors? We were just talking about you, my guy, like 2 minutes before you showed up. The robot looks like Wall-E. I'm all. Oh, if the robot.
It's a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
By that I mean it weighs 19,000 pounds.
So I don't know if you can talk about it, but what is it that you're?
So I work in the sod industry, so it is actually a mower.
Oh, okay. So you're programming like the actual like how it functions?
No. We have a couple roboticists that are doing that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Fascinating.
Yep.
I mean, it's just I look at coding as one of those fields too. Like, I mean, we talked about this a little bit where, you know, as robots get better and better and better, jobs are going to disappear more and more and more.
Yeah.
Someone's always got to code.
It's true. It is very true.
You know, unless the only thing I could ever see is at a point where the robots can code, but I don't think that's going to be in our lifetime.
I mean, we're at the very fringes of it at the moment, I think. I mean, there are like GitHub bots and other things like that, but
right.
Terminator with a beard. No, it's got wheels. It does have blades on it, so I mean.
Let's have that nerd talk. Do you think there ever really will be a point in time where robots get like to a point where they can understand what they are? Like, as in like I don't want to say consciousness because that would be.
I doubt it will be in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, AI. Yes, as Bert says, their AI can do basic coding. The drive for a lot of it, though, like AI wise, is just not there yet. I mean, there are some amazing things going on with AI. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're gonna get there in the next 20 years. And then, I mean, from there on, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, look at where we were 20 years ago.
I know.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I honestly, it could be. Who knows?
That's the weirdest thing is to even look back. Like, okay, when we were in junior high, right? South Davis. I mean, it's tough to think about.
Yeah, those are some rough days.
I was actually talking to Staley Outdoors about this, like just kind of like junior high and high school and stuff. Like, when did you get your first cell phone?
I was a weird kid and got mine in 5th grade.
Oh, you got one young.
There's a story behind why I got that. So, when I was in 5th grade, my father, when I was growing up, he ran an excavation company. So he had all of his employees had work radios that were cell phones at the same time. They were these Nextel. I mean, they were bricks. Yeah. They were this big. They had 3 options to communicate. You could text somebody, you could radio them, or you could call them. And he's like, hey, I have an extra radio, and gave it to me and my sister. Well, me being in 5th grade, I was like, yeah, my sister don't need that. So I just pretty much took it. But the problem for me was there were 3 people I could talk to on that. I could radio one of my... Okay, there were more than 3 people because one of the options was all of my dad's employees, which I didn't know enough to. I didn't want to talk to them. I could radio my dad.
Perfect.
Or I could talk to my mom or stepdad. So it's just like there's like only like 3 or 4 options because there were 2 people in my elementary school that had phones. Oh, it was me and one other person.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like, who are you gonna call?
There was nobody to talk to.
So, when did you get your first smartphone?
When I get my first smartphone, probably junior year of high school.
I think that was
sophomore or junior year. I don't remember which.
I'm trying to think when I got mine because I remember I got like a brick in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then I got a flip phone, and then I got like a push phone,
Yeah,
And then
you had that like weird slide push one that was like this thick, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I remember that.
the orange one.
Yeah, exactly.
The orange one.
And then I had the NV that was orange.
Yes,
that flipped up like this and had
yes.
the full keyboard. I remember buying that off of eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I bought that from.
And at some point, I remember getting an iPod, like an iPod Touch, and that was really big.
Yeah.
Because that's when you could actually like connect.
Yeah, I always wanted a touch because I got an iPod, like the original iPod that had the little wheel.
Yeah,
still. Yeah, I still have that thing. It barely works. But,
Yeah, I have mine too.
But yeah, I always wanted a touch because everybody's like, "Oh, we're playing games on it."
Yeah.
I was like over here with like Brick Breaker. I was like, "Oh, whatever."
How big Brick Breaker works. And then I don't remember when I made the jump to smartphone. To be honest with you, it was in, I think it was high school or maybe 9th grade, and I got the first Galaxy phone. I've never had an iPhone or an Apple.
I never
That's
have either.
aside from like iPods. And I just remember that being like such a weird moment because, like in the moment, I didn't think anything of it. But looking back, it was like, damn, we have everything on our phone now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, even like, let's go back even further, like, because you've always been into computers.
Yeah.
The shit we were using in like elementary.
No. We don't even have to go back that far. Let's go back to Carter's class.
Yeah.
Carter's
class.
Were you in the class where we built computers
Yeah.
and then played WoW on it or
Yeah.
World of Warcraft? Oh,
A+ computer.
that
repair.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Remember the Zune? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, no, we were in. So for those of you who went to Woods Cross High School, me and Ryan and I took A++ computer maintenance and repair, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
And basically, it was a year-long class where we would go in and we would learn
Pretty much how to fix, repair, and then a little bit of basics in networking, and then we essentially built a desktop out of pretty much junk parts.
Yeah,
I mean,
spare parts from other computers in the school.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
That's one thing that I definitely regret. I regret not going and taking the certification for the A++.
I did take the certification and did not pass.
That's what I remember she pulled me aside and I think one other kid aside, and they were like, hey, like, because like most of the kids just fucked off. Like, there was, I think you studied, there was one other kid who studied, and then there was like 3 of us who were like, we knew what we were doing, but we weren't like super, like, we didn't study a lot. And I remember her pulling us aside and was kind of like, you guys can take it, but like, I don't know the odds of you passing. And then when you didn't pass, I was like, I'm not gonna fucking pass. There's no way.
I didn't study a whole lot. I should have done more, but I'm fine that I didn't pass that, honestly, because that class is completely useless to me right now.
Yeah.
I learned, okay, maybe not completely. I learned some things that I have used now, but most of it is my excitement about computing.
Yeah.
Or computers, not computing, sorry. But I mean, like, all of the stuff we fixed, because it was all in Windows XP.
Yeah. Which,
I mean, it's completely useless now.
Even thinking about Windows XP. Oh, you remember Vista? Me neither.
No, do you remember Millennium?
Yeah.
God, neither do I.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Exactly. No, I don't remember it.
I had actually, that was my first gaming PC. It was a Windows Millennium computer.
Oh my god.
And I remember the day it died. It was in a game of Civ 3 with 13 other bots and me. And I had barely learned how to play this game. So I was on this, I was playing on Archipelago.
Yeah.
Playing on this, I had this tiny island. And I was like in the Iron or Steel Age. And I'm sitting here watching ironclads go past my island. And I was like, I am so toast. And then, like, 4 hours into this game, the whole computer seized up and the hard drive died. I was like, okay.
I remember the first. So, like, my dad and I have always been into gaming and computer gaming specifically. And I remember the first time we got, like, an actual, like, gaming rig. Like, gaming rig in parentheses. And that bitch ran, like, man, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne at, like, 30 frames. And that was, like...
That was
like, bee's knees at the time. Like, we were dominating Warcraft 3 because we could just see all the frames. And now I look back and I'm like, damn, we can run Call of Duty that looks like a movie now at like 160 frames. You know,
or you can run Warcraft 3 on your phone.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any issues. Not that you can program it too. But...
Well, that's the other thing. They're gonna release. Well, Diablo 2 is getting remastered, but
I hope they don't mess it up like they did in Warcraft 3.
They are, because they're just giving us the expansion. They're not giving us the full, or excuse me, Diablo 2. They're only giving us Diablo 2's expansion.
Oh, they're not even doing the base game?
I don't think so.
What?
That's what I heard. Because
why did Activision ever buy you?
Because they have the best IPs to remake. Warcraft 3 could have been the biggest thing to remake. The original StarCraft, they kind of did, but not really.
StarCraft 2 is nothing like the first one.
Well, they remastered StarCraft 1, but it just didn't...
It wasn't. It was just graphics
HD
update.
remake.
It was just an HD remake, which I'll take that over the Warcraft 3 one. I'll 100% take that over Warcraft 3.
They shit on Warcraft 3, and Warcraft 3 to me was like one of the first games I actually got into where I was like, man, I could play this against other people, and I was decent at it, and I was super pumped for them to bring it back, and then it just shit the bed.
Yeah.
Diablo 2. If they rebrought Diablo 2 with HD graphics and just gave the full game again, and maybe online compatibility, if like you and I wanted to play, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. They had that, but it was difficult.
Yeah.
That would sell like hotcakes, but they're giving us like Lords of Chaos expansion. And I'm like, it's still fun. I'm still gonna get it. But
I probably won't.
No?
No. They burned me too well with Warcraft 3.
Yeah. I didn't end up buying it because of the early beta reviews, and then I was going to wait and see if they got it fixed, and I've heard that they've kind of worked some kinks out, but I'm like, you're like a year late. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Who was it that brought StarCraft and downloaded it on the Woods Cross computers in senior year? All of us.
May or may not have been me.
Yeah. I had a flash drive of it for sure.
I 100% had Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, and StarCraft, both on a flash drive that were both cracked.
Yep, and then
I put it on most of the computers in one of the computer labs.
Yep, and then someone brought Civ. And then
I also brought. I think that was me as well.
And then I had a Civ flash drive from somebody. Okay. And then I got a StarCraft flash drive from somebody.
Yeah, I think I gave you StarCraft.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Thank
you for all the great times. Yeah, Civ is class. Yeah, Civ 3 was my favorite.
Because it was in senior year that gaming coding class that we were supposed to be in that turned into Wildcat TV.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that.
That's where I got, because you took that class.
Did.
That's where we were playing just assloads of Warcraft 3.
I straight up, I believe we did that for
nerds.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
We'll not contend to that one at all. But yeah, we just came back. It was right after lunch, wasn't it? Right before it.
Wasn't it 2 periods?
Yeah, and we pretty much just sat down with like everybody in class and just played like 8-man Warcraft game.
Hey, it was me, you, Belcher was in it,
Jeff, and then
man, I miss Jeff.
Nick.
I hope he's doing good.
What the hell's his last? Bradshaw.
Yep.
Did you hear about him?
No.
He got arrested.
Oh shit!
By the FBI for child pornography.
I mean, that's fucked up, but I'm not like super surprised.
Yeah, no comment on that one. But yeah, sorry, just the random side. But yeah.
Wait, hold on. Keep talking. Nick what?
Nick Bradshaw.
Okay, keep talking. I'm gonna go look up to see if this is the kid I think it is.
Okay. Then there was. Oh, who else was in that class? I think that was the first time Jeff Belcher told me he was part of Anonymous. At one point in time, I can't remember if it was him or not though. Let's see, who else was in that class, man? Jess Perry was in that class.
Was he?
Yeah, he sat next to me.
Not him, right?
I don't know any of those people.
I don't either.
Here, I'll see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, that was a good class. I enjoyed that one.
Not surprisingly, there's a lot of Nick Bradshaws in Utah.
Yeah,
it's kind of a fucking. If you're gonna name a white guy in Utah, Nick Bradshaw is probably it. No, that class was fun. I just remember Carter completely gave up.
Yeah.
And that's why they merged it with the Wildcat TV. You know who else was in that class? James Loftus and Joey.
Oh, yeah.
They were in that class.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you want to know, the only reason why I remember that was my speech. Do you remember that day? It was the most nerdy shit that I've ever said in my life. People were talking about gaming and how it was a waste of time. And I stood up and said, "What?" I can't remember what I said. I was like, is it any more of a waste of time than like an old man working on a car in his garage? Like, we're doing the same exact thing. We're spending money.
Oh, sorry. It's Yeah, I don't remember your speech, but I do remember you like getting up and talking about it.
Yeah, I was mad.
Here, I'll see if I can find it for you.
There was someone else who actually just got in trouble too.
Who's that?
I don't know. He looked like a fucking...
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Staley. Appreciate that, my guy.
There we go. That was it.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That was like 2018.
Wasn't expecting that. That's not the person I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Who are you thinking it was then?
I don't know. Someone else.
Okay, fair enough.
But that kind of blows my mind. I mean, fuck him, obviously, but...
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that was... Sorry, random aside. I just thought of that when we brought up that class.
No,
he was in that class.
There was a kid who got busted recently that we went to school with. God, and I don't know how to explain him. He hung out with, like, kind of a weird crowd. He had blue hair at one point.
Is his first name Sam?
I don't want to say yes or no. I can't remember. Anyways, he went to school with us, and he got busted on that. I think it was actually, like big charges, like doing things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he got... So he paid $2,700 for child pornography, and then also got arrested for soliciting a minor. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what ended up happening with his case or not, but I just saw that one day on KSL, and I was like,
"Oh, fuck.
What the hell?"
You remember the one kid in that class that actually made a video game?
What's his name?
Kid who was super duper smart.
It was Peter. No, Peter Gates is his older brother.
No,
Robert Gates was in the other class.
Yeah,
A++ with us. That's right.
Yeah.
So was Charles.
Yep.
I can't remember his last name right now. Marcus Charles. There we go.
Yeah.
Marcus. I haven't seen him in years.
I just remember because we all had a code. Kind of code. We had a program we used to build video games.
Yeah, it was I have the book of it still.
Yeah. He built a whole game, though, from, like, a side-scroller game from ground up in that class.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the time Jess Perry and I went up to Weber State for a week-long gaming coding thing?
Yeah.
I told you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when it happened, because I was like, fuck, I wanted to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were trying to get you to go, but I don't remember. You had something that week or something like that you couldn't go or something
I was
like that.
working.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I was one of those ones that I worked all through high school, which,
Same.
Looking back, I do kind of regret it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 jobs in my senior year.
Yeah.
I worked at Subway and Discount Tire.
Yep.
Speaking of Discount Tire, their shirt.
Shouts out Discount Tire.
This is actually one of their shirts they gave me. But...
I don't know. It's weird to think because, like, obviously you can't take things back, but I do kind of wish that I didn't work as much in high school and would have done more, like, I don't know. I didn't go to any dances.
I went to 3 or 4. I'll be honest, you weren't missing much.
Yeah, I know, but, like...
I had 2 dances that were really fun.
Yeah, that's the thing.
One was with Itze.
Nice, yeah.
She asked me. And then the other one was Taylor Strone.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah. Well, I went to school with her since, like, kindergarten.
So she lives down the street. That was one of the people I thought of when I came down here.
I tried to take her out on a date, too.
I dated her for a bit.
Yeah. She's cool.
Yeah.
She was also that nerd, like the hidden nerd.
Yeah, because she played a lot of Zelda.
Yeah. We had a lot of hidden nerds.
Yeah, she's married now.
Good for her.
actually owns a business, from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah, she owns a dog, like, grooming place here in North Salt Lake.
That's good.
So, yeah. That's the last I've heard of her. So.
Yeah. That's the thing is, so I've been throwing around the idea of actually hosting or, like, throwing, like, a 10-year anniversary.
I think they're going to do one.
Yeah, but the 5-year one I heard was dog shit.
That's fair.
Who's going to do the 10-year one?
Technically, the SBA or SBO is supposed to, or student body president or whatever.
Well, fuck them. Just kidding. If you're listening, don't fuck you guys. But, like...
I honestly didn't. I thought about going to the 5-year, but I didn't end up going.
I talked with a couple people who went to the 5-year, and they say it was awful.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to the 10-year for sure.
I'll go with you.
But, like, someone needs to do it right.
And we'll see what happens. Even if we do, like, an after party.
Yeah.
We can make it our own way if we need.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe doing something like that and renting out, like, Sky Bar downtown.
Yeah, let's see what the fucking pandemic situation is.
All right.
Hopefully we're... I mean, we said that, 6 months ago? Oh, yeah, we'll be out of this.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I mean, it's looking better, but we're still not fully out of the...
Hey, man, we can get vaccines on the 24th of this month.
Strange.
I have to sign up for them. But
Never would have thought at some point in my life where we would have gone through something as crazy as this. I keep having this conversation with people, like, 2020 will be a year that they will always study in history now.
Same thing with the 1920s.
Yeah. We're legit seeing the same exact thing. That's why everyone's so scared of, like, the market crashing.
Yeah.
There's been so many goddamn similarities. Now we got
actually in the exact same boat right now.
Yeah.
Especially with GameStop.
Yeah. And now we got some crypto that's, like, throwing the market in a whole bunch of weird loops and
God, seriously.
To the moon, boys.
You got some GameStop?
I got Doge. Lots of Doge.
I thought about buying a bit of that.
Lots of Doge. No, I actually got put on Doge a long time ago. It was either by Forrest or someone that I followed where it was like a joke. It was like, did you know there's Dogecoin? I'm like, so when Dogecoin got put on a Robinhood, it was less than a penny.
Yeah, it's still significantly less than a penny.
No, it's like 5 cents now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last time I looked, it was like 1/7 of a penny.
Yeah. So I bought like, I don't remember, 20 or 30,000 when it was less than a penny.
Oh, that's not bad.
So then I made like 6 or 7 grand when it went up to like 7 or 8 cents. I've been holding because if it ever does get to $1, make like a cool 30 grand without really doing anything. Yeah, but yeah, sold your Doge. You gotta hold strong till we get to the moon, baby.
I thought about buying a bit of it.
No, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't. My knowledge of crypto and blockchain, all that stuff, is not strong enough to be able to tell people what is good and what is bad. Like, it's just, I think it's funny, and I look at crypto the same way I look like when I go to Wendover. Yeah, I take money that I'm planning on losing.
Yeah.
You know, and
Dude, speaking of Wendover, did you remember the birthday that we all came over and played poker with you?
Yeah.
And I kicked all your asses?
Yeah.
Then I gave you all the money?
Yeah. I appreciate that. That was an emotional day where I was like, man, I just got reamed by... I was getting beat by everyone, and then you took it home, and then you're like,
yeah,
here.
I just gave it to you.
I was like, good guy.
It was only like, what, $30 or something like that, but...
And then we watched, like some funny movie that was like a date, like some guy was dating some girl.
The 50 First Dates?
No.
That's a funny movie.
Girl Next Door?
Oh, yeah, I think it was Girl.
Something like that, yeah. Because we were like, man, there might be tits in it.
I think that was exactly what we were thinking. Yep. Yeah, because it was you, me, Eric, Lee. I don't remember. Was that it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Just the 4 of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a good night.
We had a strong group of friends.
That was good.
If you really think about it, like, I talked to like a lot of other people, and I'm like, you guys didn't have that many strong friends, did you?
Yeah.
Like, our group was pretty tight for
quite a while.
Up until, like, graduation.
Yeah. Senior year, it was kind of falling apart. I'll be honest, part of my reasoning for that was Mr. Samuelson.
Yeah. I didn't get along with him.
Neither did I.
I don't think many people did. And I don't hold any grudges.
Oh,
like,
I don't care.
You know.
Saw him the other day, though.
Yeah,
he's driving the Dodge that he always wanted, or the Chevy he always wanted.
You know what? I respect that. I respect that a lot, because that boy talked about a Duramax every single day.
Correct.
Every single fucking day. And then, hey, he got it.
He did it.
He got it. Yeah, after high school was weird for me, for sure, because that's...
Same.
I fell into that boat of, like, thought I was in love with someone.
Oh, yeah.
Got engaged, fell apart, and then I was like, what do I do? And then, you know...
And I disappeared off to college.
Yeah, you disappeared out to college.
Eric moved to Florida.
Yeah, funny enough, like, and might be stories that you don't even know. So, after my engagement got broke up, I was just kind of like anyone is who when they have their heart broken for the first time, I was like, what do I do? So I called Chandler and Forrest, and I'm like,
haven't seen Chandler or Forrest in a long time.
And I was like, man, what's up, guys? Like, what are you doing? I kind of told them what was going on, and, you know, they were really helpful, really nice about it. And I also reached out to Eric at that time, and he helped me.
Oh, cool.
But everyone's worlds kind of tied together for a while. So Chandler was kind of living with Brock Austin up in Bountiful, like kind of by the Bountiful Library.
Okay.
Up in that area. So we were partying there a lot. And then Eric was coming. So Eric was kind of partying for a little while. Like, I have funny pictures of everyone super young.
I found all of my pictures from my old phone. Oh, no. And there's some hilarious pictures of, like, I have a picture of Eric wearing Cheyenne Jackson's shirt.
Oh, that's a good picture.
Have you seen that one?
Yep, I have seen that one.
I have the picture of Eric with a handprint of flour on his face from junior high in 9th grade science. I think you were in that class.
Yep. I was in that class. Yeah,
that was... Oh.
I don't know if I went through one of my old phones and I had a bunch of old pictures, but it was like post-high school. I don't know where my...
Junior high and high school ones were?
Yeah, because that'd be funny.
Let's see if I can find some. I have some of them on here.
But so, stuff happened with Eric, and I don't really remember what. And he ended up, I think this was around the time he ended up going to Florida.
Yeah.
And then, oh, what?
That's Eric Cubic. That's when he was in kindergarten.
Cute little kid. And then Belcher hung out for a while.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And Belcher was hanging out with us for a while. And then, I don't remember why.
That's the one right there.
That's such a fucking good picture. That's a great profile picture.
You should just send that to Eric randomly.
Hey, man. You remember that? Belcher was hanging out for a while. And then, I don't really remember what all happened, but things fell apart and people moved. And then I hired James at Domino's.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when I hired James, I started to get to know him really well. And then him and Weston were staying at a house in West Bountiful that was really nice. They were staying there for a while, and we would just party over there a lot and hang out over there. And then that fell apart. My brain's super fuzzy.
Yeah, Weston Strong.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
Good old Gavin.
Yes, Gavin.
He has a kid, and I don't know if he's married yet or not. I haven't talked to him for a while.
I haven't talked to James in a very long time either.
James is in California.
I knew that. He's got a girlfriend with a kid.
Yep, girlfriend with a kid.
I ran into Ryan Peterson about a year ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was we hung out up in Logan because he was going to Utah State at the same time as I was. He was just getting out of the Army. Or was it still in it? I can't remember. Yeah, he lives down here somewhere now. Has a girlfriend.
Did he have a good time in the Army, or was it not?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't even remember. I know we talked a little bit about it, but I don't remember.
He'd be a good person to reach out to. What stories are we talking about today? Just
high school,
post high school, growing up,
magic, gaming. I mean, kind of gone everywhere.
Yeah, going everywhere. Yeah, then James moved in. I can't remember. There was like a gap of time period. I don't remember. I won't lie. I was smoking lots of marijuana at this time, so my brain is just filled with holes of not memory.
Did I ever tell you the one and only time I've ever smoked marijuana?
No, please.
It is one of my favorite stories.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I just got back from an archaeological field trip, or field school. So we were in the desert of Colorado in a national park for 30 days. And then on the way back, I was with this guy who was a boat guide or like tour guide in Moab for like a river guide. That's what it was.
Okay.
And I ended up spending the night down there at his I think it was his girlfriend's house. Yeah, his girlfriend's house. And then that following morning, we went and like hung out at a couple like places around there. And then that night, we get on and we're like, hey, let's just go float down the river. So we park my truck at the end and then take his Jeep up to the front, get a couple inflatable kayaks, and just going down the river at like 7 p.m. Sun's going down, and he just pulls out like this handful of doobies. Just like this. It was literally held together with a rubber band. It was like a deck of cards size. It was huge.
Lots of joints.
And he's like, you know what? Let's smoke. And I was like, fuck it, I've never tried it. Why not?
We're here.
So we're both toasted going down the river. And we both had to drive afterwards. So it's just like, we're both like, yeah.
My first smoking story was weird. It was at that first house that they were all living at. And I was like really sad that night. And I was outside and it was like cold as shit. And one of their roommates, what was his name? Damien. Shouts out, dude. You're a cool kid. Never got to talk to you much, but you're a cool kid. Him and a couple of his friends were out like on the, like they had like a backyard and like a little like table and shit. And I was sitting out there just kind of like being emo. I don't know. And they all kind of came and sat there. Oh, I was drinking. I was pretty drunk. And they like lit up a joint and they started passing around. And like I wasn't talking to him, and the kid's like, "You want some?" I'm like, "Yeah." So like I had like smoked cigarettes already like prior, so like I wasn't a complete fool. So I smoked past it a couple times, but I don't think I was inhaling because I just I don't know. That's what people told me. I don't remember.
I gotcha.
And but I did definitely get a little something. And then I was kind of like, after that, I was like, well, I mean, you smoke once, you gotta smoke again, right? And I don't know. Weed's a weird one for me. I don't do it anymore. Like, I don't know. Maybe once in a blue moon. If I look at weed the same way that I look at drinking now.
Yeah, I drink like once a month at maybe.
Yeah. The only time that I'll drink is if like I'm going somewhere to eat. Or it's like an actual special occasion, like if it's my birthday, I might have a couple drinks. Or like, the last time I got drunk was like 6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, let's see.
Maybe 5 years ago. I've been lightly tipsy a couple times.
It's probably 2019 for me. Yeah. A few cousins of mine and I went out to a bar. And I didn't drink much when I'd go out, so one of my cousins was like, I will give you $50 and I'll buy 5 shots of vodka for you if you drink all 5 of those.
Oh, my guy.
And I was like, all right, so I did 5 shots of vodka and ended up almost going home with somebody. So
hey, wow.
That was an interesting night.
Wins across the board or not so much?
I never made it past the sidewalk with her.
Happens.
Because her best friend or somebody came out and said, hey, we're going to a party. So I learned a lesson. If you're going to try and hook up with somebody at a bar and you leave, walk down the street.
Weird enough, I've actually had really bad experiences with weed the last couple times that I have. So me and my fiance had taken a trip up to Park City. It was kind of like hey, let's go do like a slight vacation getaway.
Staycation.
Like a little romantic getaway type thing.
Yeah.
And we had recently gone up to Windover. Sidetrack. have you? I know you don't smoke. Have you ever gone into a dispensary yet?
Oh yeah.
So we went to the Windover one, and I just remember the moment where I was like, man, times really are changing. We walk through the door, okay, and there's a greeter. Like, so it's like normal like doors that open when you walk up, like sensor doors. And there's a second pair, and then right before you walk in, there's a greeter like sitting at a desk, like on a computer, and they're all wearing like uniforms and stuff. And like, oh hi, welcome to whatever it is. I'm like, hey, and they're like, is it your first time here? Yeah, it is. And this is what she said. She's like, oh, would you like to sign up for our rewards program? And I was like, oh, we live in a weird time now where I can get a rewards program for buying weed. I was like, wait, like
that is a strange thought.
Like a Smith's rewards program? Like, do I
get
points? Like,
where's my fuel discount?
Yeah. And I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is weird. Because like I had went to a dispensary in Colorado like 2014. And it was still like
super kind of
like I don't want to say it was shady, but it definitely was like new business.
Yeah.
And cat trying to get some screen time. Hell yeah. What's up, Meowgie? But going there and it was like super professional. Like, you know, these guys would come out and like they're
knocking over the water bottle
2
every time.
points for Gryffindor. They would come out like if you're like, hey, how can we help you today? Like, what do you want to see anything? Do you want to smell anything? Do you want to hold anything? And we're like, what the fuck? Because like I remember like even though I didn't smoke weed in high school, a lot of my friends did, and I remember it being like very low key. Like we could get in trouble for this.
So do you remember the time? Were you with me when Eric was still dating Genesee, and we went all over to his place over there at like right off 5th West? Like the Apple Gate, I think. Apple Gate. Yeah, and I ended up buying a bong for Genesee.
Oh, yeah.
You were part of that?
Yep.
And Eric had to wake her up at like 3:30 in the morning to go to the ATM to pay me back.
That was an interesting night.
It was.
So, anyways, we went and we bought some pills that are like...
gummies almost?
No, they're like you just take them like a pill, and it's like a time release, and they're like 10 milligrams each. And we went, not bad. We went to Park City, and my fiance Bieber, who's here, listening, watching, she just is tired a lot, and usually when she takes anything, she just passes out, or smokes anything, she just passes out. So I can't remember how many I took. I think she took 2 or 3, and I think I took 3, maybe 4. And that's like borderline, like kind of getting up there. And I remember like started kicking in. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like I feel good. And I fell asleep, and I woke up at like, I don't know, a couple hours later. Hey, what are you doing? Don't go into corners of walls like that's weird. I woke up and I was shaking.
Oh, good.
Like shaking. And I was like panicking. I was like, and I didn't feel mentally high. My body was like, oh, fuck.
We're stoned.
And I thought I was super cold. And
interesting.
And I'm pretty high. Like I'm like trying to process why my whole body's shaking. I thought I was having like a fucking seizure.
Oh, good.
And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Oh, okay. Well, she took 5 and I took 5 or 6. Okay, well, that's quite a bit. So that's probably why. So I remember getting up and trying, like, walking around. And, like, as I'm walking, I'm, like, fucking, like, shaking. Like, my whole, like, I couldn't, all my muscles tense and I'm just shaking. So I go into the shower and they have, like, a steamer. And I turn it on, I sit there, but I'm shaking in the steamer. And I'm like, oh my God, am I dying?
Is this what hell is like?
Is this death? So I ended up relaxing and kind of like, I laid back down and got cozy, and I was still shaking, but I was able to fall asleep because I was just super high. And then I smoked a different time after that, and I'm like, it fucked me up, like bad, like not fun fucked up. Like I was like, what is going on? I think what it is, for those of you who are in the cannabis world, as I know there's a lot of information. I don't know anything. I just will partake. I don't like the oil stuff because it's like super
Concentrated.
Yeah, concentrated like carts, as they call them. I don't like that. I think I only have to use like real marijuana.
The leaves and the buds.
Yeah, because I don't know. Every time I've done stuff like that.
Fun story about marijuana. So I've been traveling for this company I work for, and I went to Rhode Island twice. And the farm we were at in Rhode Island grew hemp.
Okay.
And so we showed up, and it was right at the peak season of hemp. So they had like 30 acres of this hemp field, and it was just looked straight like marijuana. It was and smelled just like it.
Yeah.
And it was interesting when they harvested it. They put it through this dryer, and one of my coworkers was talking about how he was there, and when they were drying it, there were all these pigeons just chilling around. And one of the pigeons took off, like, as somebody approached it, took off and just flew straight in the wall. It's like pigeons are all just high as hell.
They're just snacking on the buds and...
Well, it's drying it, so they're just breathing in the fumes of the dryer.
Yeah, so, those birds are... They know the spot.
A bunch of high pigeons, man.
It's weird. There's a lot of animals that actually in nature get high off shit. And just like...
Yeah, jaguars do.
Yeah.
Dolphins do.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of the intelligent animals.
There's theories around that.
Turns out evolution is like, we just want to get high.
Yeah.
Good old Tally.
You know what's...
I just want to get high.
I just want to get high. This is the beat the funky town. What was really weird, a big moment for me, in realizing that times are finally changing, was Utah having a dispensary now.
It's still medical, isn't it, though?
Yeah, still medical. You still have to get a card. But...
That's a step in the right direction.
But there is a... It's kind of like the early days of California. Like, if you just know someone, you can get a card pretty easily. I know a couple people who have a card. Specifically, they have reasons why they need it.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, probably good reasons. But I do have some individuals who definitely just know how to work the system a little bit. And I just look at it as one of those things, like with all drugs, kind of in a general sense, like people are going to use them.
Yeah.
Regardless. I know it can be a debated topic, but I'd rather it be in some sort of fashion sanctioned, meaning like we know it's safe to use.
And taxable as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that Colorado's improved with the taxes they've gotten off of it.
Colorado's awesome now.
I mean, they've got a couple, like they've funded a bunch of school stuff. Yeah. Like they got a bunch of things, which is why I have a problem with the way Utah handles alcohol. It's like, hey, if you just sold it like any other state, you'd actually make a decent amount of money off this.
We don't have the beer anymore, the lower beer.
That's for sure. Which
was a weird thing, right? Like when I saw that going into effect, I was like, Utah's gonna eliminate beer, and then they didn't. I was like, okay, Utah's. I really think that Utah's changing.
They didn't have much of a choice.
Right.
Because, I mean, it was either that or just not have it.
Yeah. And they were... Too many companies were like, hey, motherfuckers, like, you guys do your thing, but, like, hold on.
Hold up.
Why isn't measured?
What isn't measured isn't managed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I agree completely. No, I think that it would be nice... Because that was a weird culture shock is when I went to a Costco for the first time out of state.
Oh, yeah, there's wine and alcohol everywhere.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Why isn't this a thing?
Yeah, so I went down to Pueblo, Colorado, which is a shithole. Never go there. A friend of mine was living down there at the time, so it was my first solo road trip. It was a 9.5-hour drive. Oof. And so I drove down there and we hung out for a bit. And he was dating some crazy bitch, but the main thing in that town was there were like 18 liquor stores. There were only like 1,000 people that lived in that. It's a pretty big town now, actually. Now that I think about it, but I mean, there were like 18 liquor stores right around my friend's house. It was freaking ridiculous, and a couple of them were drive-through. The one I went to, because I went to buy a couple like beer cases and stuff like that, and it was interesting. They're like, yeah, we've been caught like 4 times selling to minors. They didn't even fucking ask me for my ID. I was like, okay, you going for 5?
Yeah, about to break some records.
Just blew me away. I was like, 4, huh? And you're still open.
Yeah. That's
okay.
You know, I guess when you don't give a fuck, you really just don't give a fuck.
God, I swear their employees were drunk as shit, too. Yeah, they probably were.
You know, there was a funny moment at this company that I worked with that I don't want to mention because they're way too big and powerful and scary. So
yeah, that's very true. Pueblo is 100% where Trailer Park Boys would take place.
Yeah,
that place is awful.
Oh, it's like that level?
It is that bad.
Oh, okay. So I worked at this company that is, you know, Fortune 500, really rich and powerful, famous company. And I worked in a call center sect. And I remember there was this moment where this conversation about marijuana happened. And it was specifically because we all knew that this kid came in blazed as fuck every day. But he was very productive. Like super productive. Because, like, that's the thing with weed is, like, there's a lot of people who smoke weed every day and you wouldn't even notice. Yeah. Because they're just productive marijuana. And that's what I like to see with the barriers being broke down is people realizing, like, a lot of people smoke weed and you don't even know. Yeah. But this kid would come in high every day to work, but he was like a top performer. And this, go figure, this older gentleman who was white and could tell like had a stick up his ass his whole life, made a scene about it one day because he apparently could smell it. Oh, good. And made this huge scene about it and was kind of like, you know, like actively like saying this in front of everyone, like, we need to do drug tests and all this type of shit. And right as he said drug test, the floor manager comes back by. And he's like this, you know, mid-30s, maybe 40s guy, but like a cool guy. You could tell like he's like clean cut, has a couple tattoos. Like he just looks like a dude you'd like hang out with. And he comes over and he's like, whoa, what are we talking about? And the guy's like, man, I can smell weed. Like, you know, we need to do drug tests around here. And this floor manager, and to put it in perspective, this floor manager is making 6 figures a year, you know, does really well. Like, he's moving up in the business. He looked at this guy and he's like, we would lose half our staff. It's not that we don't know. It's that we are okay if people perform. Sit down. And everyone was like, oh, fuck, he said it. Like, and that's the reality. Like, places like call centers and, you know, certain jobs, like, if you're performing, who gives a shit? Yeah. Who gives a shit? Like,
well, and I read something the other day that goes along that line. It's like, okay, you can sit down and take all these prescription pills and you can drink yourself to stupor every night. Yeah. Nobody bats an eye. You smoke like 2 things of marijuana and you lose your job.
Oh yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
You and I tomorrow, we could go like 2 minutes away from here, maybe 4, to the liquor store and get enough liquor to kill ourselves. Accurate. We drink ourselves to death. You can't smoke yourself to death. It doesn't exist unless you have asthma, maybe. So I don't know. Deej says my work only reasons the shitheads.
Ransoms the
ransoms the shitheads. Yeah. I look at marijuana specifically. There's other drugs we can talk about, but there's no point. Like you said, we can get prescribed shit that would literally like fuck us up on like levels that we don't even understand.
I came back in a weird time. Yeah, we're deep in a drug conversation.
You live in Colorado. I'm curious your opinion on marijuana and its impacts. But like, there's Utah, where we live, there is a pandemic with prescription opioids.
Yeah, there definitely is.
And we're okay with it. We just kind of brush it on the rug. It's one of those things that we know about that we're trying to fix.
It kind of fits in with the culture.
Yeah, it does.
It's don't know, don't tell kind of there.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to know how many, you know, at-home mothers who are on more prescriptions than a fucking sick elephant, it would make people really upset. You know, it's.
I love that description.
You know, it's crazy to me, and don't get me wrong. Like, I know people who, you know, arguably probably need certain prescriptions, and then I know people who definitely don't. but they like how they feel when they're taking it.
Man, one of the weirdest dudes I ever met in college. That dude had taken the most Adderall I've ever seen somebody take before.
Yeah. Music Obsessed says, I think marijuana is a good alternative to RX drugs because of the addiction issues with RX meds.
100% agree.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We have a lot of that here in Utah. No, Adderall's a weird one too.
It was like the drug of choice in college.
Yeah, I mean, it's a drug of choice still. Like, it just makes you more productive in whatever facet you're in. But at the same time, like, I have friends who I know have been taking Adderall for like 6-7 years, and I just
I don't get that one.
There's gotta be, that's gotta have some impacts, right?
I imagine.
Like, and I know the whole, like, people try and say, like, the whole meth thing, that's not relevant. I don't believe that. I think scientists have disproven that it's nothing like meth. Just because it's chemically similar doesn't mean it's similar.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah, so, on that note with the VA hospital and everything, I really like the Five Finger Death Punch song, music video for, Wrong Side of Heaven, I believe.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And they kind of go into some of the vets' issues, and they kind of like go through all the stats of like, oh, well, while you were watching this video, this many vets committed suicide, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's a good point.
I think I need a bunch of Adderall. LOL. I mean, I don't know. She got ADHD, and it's fun. It's funny sometimes. Like, I'll be having like a conversation like this, like we'll be talking about, like, for example, if we talked about marijuana, and then she'd be like, did you know, like, if I had 15 houseplants, that's enough oxygen for like 14 people? And I'm like, where the fuck has your brain been the past 5 minutes?
Makes for good conversation.
I've done Adderall twice, and I definitely see why people like it.
I have never taken Adderall.
It definitely, I don't know. I think it just limits. Like, it depends on how much you're taking. For me, it definitely just made me more.
I've thought about it for productive. Coding a couple times, I'll be honest.
It's a big thing in coding.
I know it is.
In that Silicon Slope area, that's
one
people popping Adderall like it's M&Ms.
Yeah.
It was like drug-induced panic attack. That's not good.
Yeah, it affects different people. Weird.
Yeah. For me, my biggest negative about it, the times that I did it, sleep. I would just be
up for 18 hours.
Yeah, more. The one time that I took it, it was for something in school, something to do with school. It was a project that I procrastinated because I'm an idiot and I needed to knock it out. I had stayed up the whole night doing the project, finished it, presented it the next day, and then proceeded to stay up most of the next night too.
Damn.
And it was one of those things where I was like, I was tired, I just couldn't fall asleep.
Yeah. I had one of those nights the other night. I thought I gave myself food poisoning.
Oh, really?
It was one of those nights, just like you ate something that just isn't quite food poisoning, but your body's just like, you know what? Fuck you.
Your body's like, you made the wrong decision, Ryan.
Exactly. Yeah, it was. I went to bed at 11. I didn't go to bed I didn't fall asleep till like 2:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to be up at 7.
Hey, Music, you don't have to answer this question, but I'm curious. How old are you? Are you my age, or are you older or younger?
Done messed up AA, bro.
You done 25? Oh, okay, you're my age.
I do love that video.
Yeah.
And the second one.
Yeah.
They're both made. But
I'm turning 27 this year, so I'm a little bit older than you.
God, that's right. I am like the oldest of this freaking group.
Are you 27 now?
Yeah, I turned 28 this year.
When do you turn 28?
November.
You fucking old man.
Uh-huh.
You know I'm calling you when you turn 30 and back. What's up, old man?
Please do.
Everyone in their prime. Yeah, I feel like that. I do. Yeah. I don't know about you, but...
I mean, there's some things that I would... Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't have too many complaints.
Hodge twins, dude. The Hodge twins. I don't watch them anymore because they got a little too political for my taste, but those guys back in the day were funny. I feel like I'm 80 to be fair.
My coworker and I went on a 10-mile bike ride today, and it was the first ride of the season. I feel like I'm 80 right now because of that.
I bet.
And he's like over here, he's got all of his road biking gear on, and I'm over here in basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And
it's all downhill from 30.
And he's like, oh yeah, let's just take it slow. He's like, you think 15 miles an hour is a good pace? So I was like, fuck me.
And so you look at him, listen here, you son of a bitch, it's not. 7 or nothing. Did you guys do it like a mountain bike?
No, it's all road.
Okay.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you? I kind of wanted to get back.
It wasn't bad. I mean, I thought it would be worse than it was. I mean, the return trip, because we went 5 miles out and then about 5 miles in, and it wasn't bad. The return trip kind of sucked because we had a headwind the entire way. But honestly, I would just say just do it.
Yeah.
Find somebody to go with me. If you want to go with me, I'm down.
I think biking is one of those ones that I wanted to pick up because I used to bike a lot.
Yeah, everywhere. That's the same thing I did.
And I haven't biked in 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, well, let's go. Let's do it.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know what I've been really missing? I've been missing basketball a lot lately.
Dude, we used to play 4 or 5 hours of basketball every day.
Every day. And what was weird is even when you went up to Utah State, we were still playing. I had 3 groups that were playing basketball every week. I had 2 groups of football every week.
Yeah.
It was just, we were going hard for a long time. And then, I don't know, it was just one of those weird things where almost everyone at the same time who I was playing with, everyone just kind of started dispersing. Life started happening, and, what used to be I'll come play basketball for 3.5 hours is I got 20 minutes you want to get in a game. And then 20 minutes is dude, I can't
that was
make it
our
today.
life for a solid 2 years.
Dude, the hours that we I wish there was a number, of how many hours we had fucking just been in front of a basketball hoop.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I know. I miss
me shirtless. Got caught in a hailstorm on a first bike. Woo! Yeah, that is a rough 10 miles. That's a rough any miles.
Yeah, that's. Oh, and shirtless.
Yeah,
shirtless is her boyfriend.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I call him shirtless.
Okay. Still, it is a rough 10 miles.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I got one of my mountain biking adventures. I got stuck in a thunderstorm.
Ooh, that's spooky.
It was this random microburst that just came out of nowhere. It was a perfectly sunny day. 15 minutes later, it was dark and lightning everywhere. We're well, we might die, but let's keep going.
I'll push it. Where do you do mountain biking at?
There's a couple trails up in Heber, so my dad likes to mountain bike that we go up to. There's a couple in Bountiful that are pretty good, depending on time of day. Usually they get pretty busy with hikers and shit like that. There's a lot in Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. I actually have just been riding a little bit on this Legacy Parkway kind of thing. So, I mean, just whatever you want.
Have you ever thought about, how hard do you think it... I mean, I know how hard it'd be, but do you think you could do, riding up the B to the top?
Yeah.
The dirt, start at the B and then go up the...
Yeah.
That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to because that road's fucking full of crazy bitches.
Yeah.
I mean, I've almost been in a car accident 4 times.
Because I 4-wheel that. I go 4-wheeling up there.
I saw your... But
yeah.
Your garage is still open, by the way.
Oh, that's okay.
Just figured I'd let you know. But,
I live in Woods Cross.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, where we were biking on 3rd West, and let's see, we were on 19 South and 3rd West is where one of the areas.
Yeah.
We were passing all these homeless tent cities.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super interesting.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them now. It's crazy with COVID's caused a lot of that.
COVID's
done fucked up everything.
Yeah, it really did. At least your industry's doing well.
Yeah, I saw. Jeez, our company's busier than it's ever been in its lifetime.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, how's your marketing job? We didn't really talk much about that.
It's great. I love it. It's just it's such a different facet of life.
Last time you were working at a fiber class.
Yeah, I was doing composites.
Composites, that's what it was. Yeah.
It's just I feel like my strengths in life really are being able to connect with people and being able to talk with people, and like that's what I do now.
So you have a podcast
Yeah.
that kind of shows that.
Yeah, you know,
I get behind that.
yeah, and that's kind of what I do. Like most of my days are spent networking and trying to find clients and trying to build those relationships and, you know, help. That's the biggest thing is like, you know, I originally thought like it was going to be a sales job. And I was like, I'm not a salesman. I just wasn't born to be a salesman.
I'm not either.
And it's sales at its core, but it's relationship building.
Interesting.
So I'm not going and selling like, hey, you need this water bottle. Why? Because you're thirsty. It's not that. It's like, hey, let's work together and build it. Let's make your business a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and it's...
So you mind me asking what you sell? Or what you market?
Yeah, it's the ad read I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, my company sponsored me, which is super cool.
Oh, that's super awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So PPC, websites, SEO,
yeah.
posting.
My stepmom just used a similar company to that to make her start her company.
Yeah, I mean it's great, and
I wonder if it was your company. It might have been. Oh.
Maybe.
That's okay.
Hey, and for website shit, talk to company.
Well,
Definitely help.
Yeah.
Anyone watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier? No.
No, I heard it was decent though.
Shout out to Monarch. Whoop whoop.
Monarch, as in.
That's the company name.
Oh yeah, okay.
Whoop whoop.
My brain went straight to Godzilla. I was like, damn, we're bringing Godzilla to this, and it's not coming out till October. Or something like that.
You know, I'm super behind on my movies and shit. Like, I haven't finished WandaVision, and I heard WandaVision's so good.
I haven't seen that either, but I've heard it's also amazing. Yeah. You just need to come over to my place, bro.
We'll knock out WandaVision.
I mean, my projector is bigger than that wall.
I also haven't watched... Everyone's talking about the Snyder cut of Justice League. It's like 4 hours long.
Not into DC at all.
I'm not either.
I do have to say, the original Wonder Woman was amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one yet.
1984, right? That's
the second one.
I heard it's hot trash.
That's unfortunate.
I really liked the first Wonder Woman. And I think that like the first Batman movies, like Batman Begin, and those are some of the best movies. But I don't know. It's weird. I still just spend all of my time when I can consume entertainment. I just watch Twitch and YouTube still.
I watch Futurama on repeat.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're not wrong. Futurama's never a bad time.
Just watching the episode where Bender is becoming a woman.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bend Her.
Yeah, Bend Her. I like the DC Comics, though. Suicide Squad was an interesting comic. That's what I've heard, is everyone I talk to who's super duper into like the comic book world, they say DC is better comics, Marvel is better cinematic.
You know, I haven't gotten much into comics.
Me neither.
The ones I have read, they're okay. Attack on Titan, that's more manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really read many. It's just not something I could get into, even though, like, all of my friends in college, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Hey! Bye! I'll talk to you soon about getting a date set for you to do the podcast, too. I had to come to terms with me, because I had terms with myself. I had a moment where I was like, you know what? I need to just jump into comics. I just need to do it. I'm sure I would love it. I was like, yeah, I love anime. I love nerd shit. I game. I do everything. I play fucking Magic and board games. I'm like, yeah, comic book seems like a natural transition. And I was like, I can't get hooked on another thing. I just can't. And I know comic books aren't cheap. And graphic novels aren't cheap.
That's where I'm sitting. I have too many hobbies already.
Yeah.
But you do bring up Magic, and that is a hobby I, like, drowned myself in.
Yeah, let's talk. So
I just recently sold out of most of the formats I used to play
okay.
to fund my going back to school. Actually, is how I did that.
Oh, for going back to school for
With coding?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was playing Legacy. I had parts of a vintage deck, and I was playing a lot of Commander. I had the entirety of
Got some packs. They're open, but
I'll have to take a look at them.
I don't know if there's anything good. Those are recent, just
Yeah, I mean, these are the ones I'm opening on Arena right now.
yeah.
But, yeah, so I just sold all that. I went from having a $20,000 collection
I didn't realize you were that heavy.
to like an $1,800 collection.
So did you really sell your collection for like 19 grand?
I got about 11,000 for it.
I didn't know you were that deep in. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. We need to backtrack then. When did you get into Magic?
When I was in 2nd grade.
Did we ever talk about Magic? Like through high school and junior high?
No, because I didn't really play it in high school. So I took a break from Mirrodin till about Return to Ravnica. This is a very good card.
Which one?
The Untitled. I play it in my commander, one of my commander decks.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but he's okay.
That's fucking OP as shit, actually.
It's pretty fun. Then yeah, so I started in 2nd grade. My cousin took me and his younger brother, my other cousin, to a game. I think it was Game Zone or End Zone in the
Colonial Square?
Colonial Square.
Yeah, End Zone.
Yeah. And we played a game. We did a draft, and it was Unhinged. So it was the weird ass sets, and that was the first time I played at a tournament. I stuck with it a little bit throughout the years, not terribly. And then about middle of college, I was going bowling with a friend of mine who's like, "Hey, I play Magic. You should come to this shop up here." It's actually heebie-jeebies.
I love the name of that. heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I know the owner pretty well. He's a good guy. We just started playing from there, and then I just got sucked into it. And a friend of mine that is a lawyer is like, I have to be the best at everything kind of personality.
Yeah.
So the power level just kept going up and up and up. So I was playing Commander at like, my Commander deck was $6,000.
Oh my God.
And it would win consistently turn 2 and turn 3 every game, unless I got disrupted or I had to disrupt somebody else. Because his Commander deck won on turn 1 unless without disruption like 80% of the games.
How?
Storm. I mean, he had all of the fast mana, and I had all the fast mana too. I was only missing one card from my entire deck. I was missing a Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. The card is now $4,000. Well, I had one, and I just couldn't justify keeping it. And I had bought it for $1,000, and then I sold it for about $1,000.
Were you working while you were in college?
Yeah, I worked 40 hours a week when I was in college.
Okay. So I
worked full time from the time I was a senior in high school until the first time I was without a job for more than a week was when I went back to school.
Mm.
So I've been working since. Ooh, that's a good card.
Well, those cards are bent as shit.
Yeah, they warp because they are foils.
Yeah.
That card's expensive as shit. But
what's expensive as shit? Because I didn't think there was anything in there.
There's actually a couple good cards in here. This Commander Sphere is pretty good too.
Well, I didn't realize this was in there.
That's amazing. Put that in your Commander deck.
Oh yeah. I haven't gone through these packs in like months though, because I didn't realize.
Torgo's pretty good too. That one's not bad.
These cards lose value when they warp?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a given with them. It's just because they're foil. The foiling bends the card over time. But you can just set a book on that for a couple weeks and it'll work. But so yeah, I got into it super heavy in college. A lot of my friends, I mean, we had thousands of dollars in commander decks.
Wow.
Then I kind of rotated out of commander. I switched it into legacy, and
that's what he does. That's what I'm telling you. He just
you got something stuck in your mouth. Oh no, that's your toy.
Oh yeah, he plays fetch. Finally, I can show someone. No one believes me. He'll think about it.
I'm sure he will. Yep, you cut right there.
Thanks, bud.
See the one that fetches straws too?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
My
but
cat fetches. Now you guys believe me.
But to continue the story, when I rotated into like a legacy, there's a game store down in West Jordan. I know you have a sponsor that's a game store, so I figured I probably wouldn't.
Oh no, you're
I was gonna say it's Paragon City, and a friend of mine is one of the owners, and we got really close. And I mean, I spent a lot of money there, but I haven't seen them in forever, so I hope they're doing well with all the things that's going on. But yeah, I mean, they had a legacy game night every Thursday, which was the first one of the few stores that has legacy, because it's just an expensive format.
Yeah,
I mean, I had $4,000 in duels.
Yeah.
So
you were good.
I mean, I took first place on a decent basis, not every night, but I mean, there were other people that were better than me. I wasn't playing tier decks. I was playing this really weird deck called Mud.
Mud?
So my entire game plan was to make it so you couldn't play Magic, and then I was going to kill you with a Blightsteel on turn 3.
God damn it.
That had haste and had Shroud.
Anti-fun.
That's just how I like
it's
to play
fun
Magic.
For you.
That's how I play Magic.
Yeah.
Like, my commander deck that won was pure stacks. I made it so you couldn't play the game, and then I killed you.
Yeah.
One of the decks I had, I would lock everybody out of the game, destroy all their permanents, all of mine were indestructible, and I was going to punch you with a 2/2 until you died. That was my game plan.
We need to get you like a cosplay of like, you know, a crown and some like jeweled rings, and you need to be the Toxic King.
100%. 100%. So yeah, so that deck was built around a commander called Arkham Daxon. What he did is you tapped him, you sacked a creature artifact to go get any non-creature out of your deck.
Okay.
Didn't matter how much it cost, didn't matter whatever. So the second I would activate, I'd go get another one that untapped him, and then do it again. And then I'd get a thing called a Mycosynth Lattice that would turn every permanent on the battlefield into an artifact, and anything in your hand was colorless, and you could spend mana as if it was any color. It's a 6-drop artifact. It's worth like $40 now because there's a planeswalker that makes, if you have that and Mycosynth Lattice, your opponents can't do anything.
Right.
I can't even tap their mana. It's really dumb. It's Karn, the 4-drop in standard that you can fetch a card from your sideboard.
Yeah.
That also all artifacts your opponents can't activate artifacts. That Mycosynth Lattice locks your opponent out of the game completely.
Oh.
They can't cast anything. They can't do anything but draw cards and discard them. So that card came out well after I had this deck. But I would go get that artifact, Darksteel Citadel, which made all artifacts indestructible, or all my permanents indestructible, and then I would get a thing called Never Null's Disc. And what it is you pay 4, tap it, and it destroys all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Yeah, artifact, creatures, enchantments. So everything on the board is an artifact.
Yeah.
Mine's indestructible.
Yeah,
so I blow everything my opponents have up, and then my only win con was punching you to death with Arkham Daxon, who's a 4-drop 2/2. Which he's commander, so it's 21 damage.
Yeah, sure.
But I still have to attack each person 10 times for 10 turns.
God damn. You know what I'm working on secretly? I'll tell you. If anyone's listening from Dark Prime, I'm coming. So I'm new to Commander, so I'm trying to figure out all the different rules and regulations, and I found out there's a couple cards you can have multiples of. And one of them being the rats.
Oh, Relentless Rats.
Yes.
Or Rat Colony, which one?
The Rat Colony. Where it buffs each rat colony that's out by 1-1.
1-0.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to get 80. My goal is 60.
You want...
And then do
Let's see, so
40
rat colony
mana.
costs what, 2 mana or 3?
It's 1.
It's 1 mana? Okay, so then what you do, yeah, because it's just 1-0 power boost.
I just want to be a dirty little rat boy.
So there's actually a commander that's a rat king.
Oh, that's perfect.
And that's actually a pretty good tribal deck. And what you should do is also put in Relentless Rats. It's a 2-drop. You discard a card for 3 mana and make a copy of it. I cannot remember the card off the top of my head right now, but it gets 1/1 for each rat.
Yeah, that'd be so. That's just what I want to do. I just want to make a rat deck. But those cards are fucking expensive.
Rat colonies?
Yeah.
How much?
Like the one that I've ordered already was 6 of them, $38.
38?
Yeah, for a rat colony. Because I must not have been the first asshole who was like, let's make a rat deck, you know? So...
Yeah. I mean, I did just spend $30 on land.
Why?
Just basic land.
Because they're cool again?
Because they're foil and they're all the exact same.
I respect that.
Again, we really need to play some Magic.
We do.
Well,
you're going to shit on me, but I'll play.
Yeah,
I got my Elf Commander deck.
So, I've got 2 commander decks right now. One is Jared Golgari Lich Lord.
What is... I don't know that one.
So he's a 4-drop, 2 black, 2 green. He's a 2/2 zombie elf. His power and toughness, he gets +1/+1 for each creature in the graveyard. You can pay 3 and sack a creature and do damage equal to their power to all of your opponents.
Okay.
And then you can sack a swamp and a forest and put it back in your hand if he's in the graveyard.
Shit.
But so I've got that one, and then I have Ilharg, the Boar God.
I pulled that, and I'm gonna get it graded.
Grim Tutor?
Yeah.
It's a decent card.
Yeah, it was an expensive boy for a while. I don't think it is anymore.
It's about $60, $67. I don't know how much that version of it is, but when I first bought my first Grim Tutor, which was in Jared, there was only one printing in Portal 3, 1990. Yeah, Portal 3.
When I pulled this, when it first came out,
yeah, you showed it to me.
It was like a $90 card,
yeah.
And then I like grading shit.
Yeah.
I think it's just fun. I have more Magic cards in here but
yeah. So the first time I bought that card, Grim Tutor, was $240.
Oof. Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty steep.
Non-foil, old border. It's pretty nice.
Because that's the new border. It's a borderless one, full art or whatever.
Yeah, it's full art. Yep.
I also am into Pokemon.
I do like Pokemon. I have a full set of the original 150.
It's a lot of money right now.
Is it?
Have you not been following the Pokemon?
I have zero idea what anything's worth.
Yeah, it's... You know who Logan Paul is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The vlogger kid. So he had, like 5 or 6 months ago, opened up. Like he did this whole vlog where he was like bringing Pokemon back. And like he went and bought like $100,000 box from the original like Shadowless set, opened it, and it's just ever since then it's been crazy. Like you can't find Pokemon cards. Like you go, me and my fiance today, we went to Target, GameStop, Walmart. Everything's sold out.
I have like 300 of the original. A lot of them are first edition.
Yeah, you're probably sitting on a lot of money if they're in good condition.
And most of them are in perfect condition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you have, but like...
I wish I still had my foil Charizard, but I do not, because that one was worth a couple $100 a couple years ago.
I mean, foil base set Charizard right now, like, even at like a grade 7 or 8 is like a $6,000 or $7,000 card. Yeah, it's crazy right now.
I have first edition Charizard. It's not foil, though.
Which one is it?
It's the one where he's bending over blood. It's I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's the first printing of him.
Yeah, it's crazy right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you dig those out and you want to go through them with me, I'd be more than happy to send them into PSA and shit for you.
We can figure that out.
Fast stacks of moolah.
I do know I have this is my sister's card technically, but she has the first printing of Chansey foil.
Really? Yeah, that one's an expensive one too.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Chansey's cute. Thick belly.
Yes, very.
It's getting them eggs too.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my Magic adventure. Right now, I'm pretty fine with staying with where I'm at in my Magic collection. It's just not worth it for me to have that many again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it just turns into like stockpiling everything, and you know.
I could play any deck I wanted. That was the really cool thing. The interesting thing is, like, I looked up prices for some of the cards I did keep for my Commander deck. Did not realize how expensive that shit is. I looked the other day. I have a card that's worth like $800 right now.
Yeah. Dude, shit's just... That's the crazy thing about cards now, is especially Magic and Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh's actually getting super hot. It is.
But the cards don't hold their value because
They
the okay, maybe they do now, but they didn't before.
Because, like, so there's sets that are coming out now. Because Yu-Gi-Oh does their... I've been deep into this shit. I don't know why. Yu-Gi-Oh does their rares weird. So, like, there's, like, 3 rarities of a rare.
Yeah, there's the secret rare, hidden rare, and...
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, there's... Whatever the rarest one is right now in some of these new sets, cards are selling on eBay ungraded for, like, $1,800.
Yeah, so the interesting thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, though, is I would avoid buying those.
Oh, I'm not interested.
Because the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, the gameplay, the way that Bandai Namco does their tournaments, they just arbitrarily ban something, and it just the whole deck is worth 50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have no interest in buying or playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I've just been following a lot of the TCG over the past year-ish, and it's fascinating to me. Like, and there's some old Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are valuable, of course, like the nostalgia ones, but
still have a Blackluster Soldier somewhere.
Yeah, Blackluster Soldier's popular. I found my Genzo.
There you go.
Yeah, not worth much because it's, you know.
I was devastated when somebody in my elementary school stole half my collection.
Yeah.
Devastated.
That happened to me with Magic. So my Magic stories, I got into it by my cousins. I don't even know if they're my cousins. Yeah, they're my cousins. And they were casually playing it. But they were playing during... I would have been in like 3rd or 4th grade.
So... Weird and Besieged or Zendikar.
Yeah, something like I can't remember specifically, but
Zendikar was like 2006, 2007.
They ended up moving from where they lived and left a bunch of their Magic cards. So I naturally was like, oh, well, take these, and I had like old cards, and one of my friends at the time snagged them all up.
That sucks.
Yeah. And then I didn't play with them until 8th grade. Mr. Bauer.
I love that man.
That's what got me into playing Magic was him.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how it went down, like why I ended up going. Because like I knew what Magic was because of them, and I had always wanted to play it. But then I heard that there was like a Magic club after school, like once a week. And I don't remember who went with me or like how it went down, but I ended up going, and then I went for like...
You tried to get me to go a couple times.
Yeah. I went for a better half of a year. And then...
Yeah, I think I always ended up having like an extracurricular thing that was always on top of it.
And what was weird, looking back at it, is it was cool because it was like that first breakdown barrier of like, oh, a teacher's a normal person, you know?
Yeah.
But there was also kids who were former students who were still going.
Yeah.
So like I was interacting with like high school kids and kids who had graduated that would still go and do Magic Night there.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but cool. And I don't know, it was just a good time. Like it helped me. 8th grade was a hard year for me. Like junior high is hard for everyone. And 8th grade was a hard year for me. And as corny as it sounds, going to Bowers and playing Magic and stuff really leveled me out. Because it was a way to put like mental focus into something where I had to like be more mature if I wanted to, you know. Because I had worked like side jobs and shit, but like still a kid.
Yeah, yeah. 7th grade was interesting for me. 8th grade was weird. 9th grade was probably the worst of the 3 years, in my opinion, for me. Yeah, I was the lovesick kid, so I started dating in 7th grade. My first girlfriend was Ashley Rogers in 7th grade.
Oh, yeah. 7th grade.
It was interesting. Then I dated. I dated. I wasn't really dating, honestly, in my opinion, but I was official with Becca Gramal.
I haven't thought of that name, and it's probably since junior high.
And then Emily. Oh, what the fuck's her last name? The short girl. I can't remember her name right now. Alyssa and Heather Golightly.
Homeboy was out here breaking hearts.
And getting mine broken more often than not.
I didn't date anybody.
Yeah, man, I was so interested in women at that point in time.
Yeah, I didn't date until out of high school.
I dated Victoria Smith as well. Victoria Smith.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she's got a couple kids now.
Yeah.
I wonder how she's doing. Last I heard, she was living in Murray, but
I just had a bad experience in 7th grade, and I just never dated in junior high or high school.
I dated so many people.
I just was like, nope, not even gonna put myself out there.
Yeah,
not even trying to get hurt again.
I feel like I ruined a couple like potential girlfriends I could have had in high school by dating in junior high. Yeah, honestly, but that's okay.
When did we actually become like friends?
9th grade.
Because I'll be honest, I don't really remember.
It was summer of 9th grade into 10th grade is when we started really hanging out. It's because I started hanging out with Eric in 9th grade and science, and then we kind of branched into you and Sam Snyder and Forrest and Chandler. Yeah.
Well, Chandler would have been high. I think
Chandler was like 10th, 11th grade.
Yeah, Chandler was a little bit later.
But
Forrest and Sam for
Forrest
sure.
And Sam. Yeah, because I mean they lived like literally right next to each other.
Yeah.
I went to lunch with them all the time in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So did you.
Yeah.
You came a few times. So yeah,
lots of Taco Bell and lots of Costco.
Also, and Sam's house.
Yeah, and Sam's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sam was the first person to drive, right?
Yeah, because his birthday was in September, and then I was second because Kyle couldn't seem to get his shit together.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the nice thing is all my friends were the old ones, so
we were running around on that fucking green 4Runner. You go slow.
Yep. Oh my god. Wow, that just triggered a fucking whole.
Remember when we ran to Crown Burger in Salt Lake and my battery died?
Yeah. No, I wasn't there for that.
Oh, you weren't for that?
I don't think I was there for that.
Yeah, I got some serious shit for that. I wasn't supposed to leave Bountiful.
Yeah. Man, you go slow. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then Sam had the little Honda.
Little red Honda.
And then he sold it. I don't remember what he got after that.
Subaru.
Yeah, Subaru.
That Subaru hatchback. It was white and tan.
Yep. Since I was young, I didn't get my car until...
Yeah, you had that Dodge Neon in the garage here forever.
Yeah, and then...
And you bought that Mazda 3. That was that white Mazda 3.
Yep. And then I had that for a long time. Had that through high school.
Yeah.
And then I got another Mazda 3. It was a gray Sky Active, and then someone fucking crashed into me. That was cool. That was way after high school.
Yeah, that was only a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. What? So I'm trying to remember, because I remember the first time going to your house was with Eric, Kyle, and the other Sam.
Mortensen?
No.
Sam.
Hartel.
Oh yeah, I forgot we hung out with that bitch.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's doing.
I think he's doing really well.
Interesting.
He married someone we went to school with, I think.
Yeah, he did.
I think he does the Instagram modeling type thing.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, he looks great. Good looking kid.
Nicely done, Sam.
Yeah, fucking
I remember lighting a skateboard on fire in your garage.
I love it.
I don't remember the context. All I remember was we were like, hey, what's pour some gasoline on this skateboard and ride it while it's on fire. Because, as teenage boys do.
Yeah, I remember that was the first time that I ever hung out with you guys, like, outside of school. I think.
Yeah.
Was that day. Because we went up to your house. We played basketball, of course.
Yeah, that was the only activity we really did at my house.
Yeah. And then... That might have been, too, with Kevin.
Oh, yeah, Kevin was there. That's right.
Kevin. I never had talked to Sam after that day, I don't think. Me and him never...
I hung out with Sam for a bit after that. Not very much. He started hanging out with a different crew. I can't remember who it was, but they... Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah, and then Yeah, let's see. I can't remember that day, to be honest with you, the first day you came up to my place, but...
I don't remember it well either, because it was, I mean...
And then, like, Cheyenne and Allie started hanging out with us for a bit.
Yeah. Levi.
I
miss that kid. That's the one kid that, like...
No
I don't know
what the hell happened to him.
Yeah, like, it just...
I do know part of the story, but I don't know what happened after that.
I know part of the story, too. I think the same story you probably know.
With Allie Cahill?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they both went down to SUU, and they dated for another little while, and then they broke up, and he disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah. That's what... And I've tried... I have him on my original Facebook account, and all that's on there is just one picture.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to him.
I don't know why I'm so fascinated with him specifically. I think it's because, like, he really was my boy. I liked him a lot.
Levi was a nice dude.
And, like, it just... He was one of those kids that, like, after high school, you realize, like, okay, was I really that close, or were we just, like, high school friends? And then I just never was able to talk to him. And I'm like, fuck, I just want to know. Like,
yeah,
I hope he's doing okay.
And I have no idea, man.
There's a lot of kids like that where I'm like, who knows? Who knows? My graduating class wasn't necessarily small either, so it's like...
430 people.
Yeah, so I mean, how many fucking people do we not even know? Like, we can't even remember.
There's a lot that... I mean, I know bits and pieces of different people's story, but I know nothing about how they are in life.
Yeah. That's why I really want to blow up, like, our 10-year and try and get everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I know
cool
there's
shit.
a Jamie instead of a Jerome now.
Yeah. Jamie seems pretty cool.
I haven't seen her since college.
I've followed her on Facebook for the whole, like, from high school on, and I think we talked at one point. I think she was going to come to the podcast, but we never were able to. I think, yeah, we were never able to get a time set, and I just fell through.
I talked to her ex-girlfriend a few times.
I don't know.
From college. I knew her ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only, like, update I've gotten from her life. But then there's a Samantha instead of a Sam as well. Mortensen.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I wonder how she's doing.
I was never close with her.
I
was
high school. Really good friends with her for a number of years.
Yeah.
And then he at the time started hanging out with a completely different crowd. But I mean, I honestly don't know what happened between us, but we just kind of fell it just.
That's kind of what happens. It's a bummer because, like, there's a lot of people where I just wish, like, you know, even casually in contact, and that could just possibly be me. Maybe I just need to go and casually contact people and just be like, hey,
just slide into those DMs.
Slide into those DMs. What's up, friend?
What's up?
I mean, it's not that I necessarily, like, have, like, a weird, like, I was talking to someone the other day where they're like, yeah, I just want to know, like, I hope that I'm doing better than them. I don't give a fuck about that. I just hope that everyone is doing okay.
I'm just curious about their lives. I mean, if their life is anything as vivid as mine, I mean, they've got some shit to talk about.
Some stories.
Yeah.
That's why I like doing the podcast. I want to hear some stories.
Yeah.
I just like the whole mending together, like, the different aspects of, like, people we went to school with.
Yeah.
And, like, mending everything together in this, like, one hive mind of like, oh, you thought that? You did that? Oh my god.
Fuck them. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
You did who? With what? When? No, it's been weird. And, talking to Cody Staley when he came on, I was like, we were piecing things together. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you knew about that? And I was like, it's just... You really realize in the small southern Davis County area, everyone knows a piece about everybody.
Yeah.
Or they think they know a piece.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because after high school, when I started hanging out with Forrest and Chandler, everyone quickly assumed that I was either doing or selling drugs. Because they all thought that those guys were quickly doing or selling drugs.
I'll be honest, I was not part of the thinking you sold drugs, but when Forrest and Chandler showed up to our high school graduation with a bottle of vodka in their car,
yeah,
I was like, these guys are going to be interesting after high school.
Definitely.
Honestly, haven't seen them since high school, so have no opinion of them.
Yeah. Well, Forrest did the podcast with me for a long time. And
how's he doing?
He's doing good.
You talked to him recently?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I still talk to him.
Cool.
Yeah. He works at the composite place.
Still?
Yep, Chandler does.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And, everything seems to be going well for the most part. I think everyone just kind of gets to a point where they start drifting, whether they want to or not.
That's fair.
Different hobbies and different aspirations and different things that make them happy, and But yeah, that was one of the funniest things because I was hanging. There was a point where like I got burnt out on partying really fast.
So did
I don't know what it is. It's not that I don't like interaction, but like
yes, it does.
It's not that I don't like socially interacting, but like I did some dumb shit. Like everyone has dumb drunk stories, but my dumb drunk stories actually made me feel really like not happy with myself.
Yeah,
and not because
I have a similar experience.
Yeah, not that I did anything bad, but like I wish that I wouldn't have made decisions that I made.
Yeah,
and that's when I kind of decided like maybe I just shouldn't be drinking or partying unless it's like more low key, because like I really enjoyed nights with the boys, like just like how we used to do when people would come down here, like
chill,
just chill.
Every once in a while, try to throw each other through a wall.
Yeah, throw each other through walls and talk and play games and
watch
just
pornography on a random phone, on a random laptop.
Did that happen here?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I forgot about that night. Yeah, that was because that was also the night where we were looked on that website of all that fucked up stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That night scarred me. I remember watching.
I was sitting right there on your couch.
I remember watching some guy get beheaded in that on that website, right. And I was like, "Oh, are we watching this right now, guys?"
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that night. That was funny.
That was me, Kevin, you.
Kevin was here?
I don't know if he stayed the night like the rest of us, but I know he was here at one point.
I didn't know Kevin ever made it down here.
Yeah, he came and played basketball a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't Kevin. It may have been Kyle. Fuck, I don't remember who all was there. I know Eric wasn't, but it was the three of us, and then I don't remember who else. But yeah, it was...
Kevin's a funny kid. I don't know what he's like anymore, but... Married, right?
He's married. I don't know much about him. I know... I mean, I see his parents every once in a while, but I haven't seen him in years. He went after his mission. I went over and hung out with him and Andy Lambert and Zach and God, what the hell's his name? There's a couple others, but the whole like track team essentially, and then they were all talking about their missions, and I was like, I really don't fit in here at all.
That was a weird thing. Is like, I obviously I knew Kevin and I was cool with Kevin. Like I was at his house multiple times, but I didn't know a lot about Kevin.
Yeah,
and I didn't think that he was LDS.
He was very anti-LDS for a very long time until he started doing track, and then he started hanging out with a bunch of LDS people, and he kind of reintroduced him.
Oh, okay.
And then went on his mission. I mean, he wrote me a few times, mostly to try to convert me to the LDS church, but I don't really hold that against him. But no. I mean, that's just a missionary's mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's kind of what he ended up like.
Do you want to dive into that topic for the last thing we do?
What?
Like the LDS in Utah?
Sure, why not?
So, where... You were never LDS, right?
Yeah, I grew up LDS.
You grew up LDS.
I left when I was 15.
Okay, let's talk then, because this has been my favorite thing lately to do.
Okay.
Like I had Cole Cook on.
Talked to him forever.
He's no longer a part of it at all.
Neither am I.
He went on his mission and came back, and a lot changed for him. I always have to shout out Cole when I get on this topic because of him coming and talking, and he really opened up on the show. I had multiple people direct message me saying, "Hey, like, thank you so much for doing that. Like, I needed to hear that I wasn't wrong. Like, I needed to hear that I wasn't alone.
Yeah,
I needed to hear that those thoughts were okay to have." Yeah. And it was great. Like I told those to Cole, and he was very, "Hey, good night, Big Papa, my guy."
I'm good.
You know, it was you know me. I grew up not any religion, and so it's always been kind of interesting for me to like understand that. So I don't know if we've ever even talked about it. I didn't.
We had a little bit the first podcast we did.
Yeah.
But random aside on Cole, the last memory I have of him is so I ended up dating his ex-girlfriend, and she broke up with me because that was the last memory I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, I don't want to do the serious thing anymore. It was a mistake with Cole, and then that was the last I heard of her.
Damn.
I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
My bad.
Yeah, no, I didn't care. I didn't hold it against him either. I thought she was crazy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it was interesting. I mean, I left when I was 15 because I found a bunch of hypocrisy in the church.
In which ways?
The bishop's son at the time was telling me how I needed to come to church one day and be this perfect little Mormon boy, and then telling me who he was fucking the next day. So I was having a little hard time with hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is like one of my least favorite things in life. I had a major family member who was a very large hypocrite, so I learned to hate that really quick. But so I found that, and then I kind of just found other reasons to stay away, and then I have many now to stay away.
Right. So growing up, were you like going weekly and staying pretty on top of it, or was it kind of like a
until I was 15? Yeah, I mean I went every week. It was pretty much a requirement for a long time. My mother wasn't so much pushing it. It was more my stepfather. My mother is very open-minded to different ideas. So, I mean, that was pretty much what saved a lot of the contention that I was expecting.
And then your stepdad. What's your stepdad's name?
Dale.
Yeah, Dale. I know Dale. The chest hair to fucking...
Oh, God.
From here to kingdom come.
We went on a cruise recently, and he was shirtless, and he was doing like a little cruise video thing. We're like, why'd you wear your sweater?
That was the first thing that I remember playing Junior Jazz, was him showing up in his fucking like jersey and just like it was like a fucking farm. It was just out. I'm like,
goddamn forest.
So aside from hypocrisy, was it like, and I know this is very intrusive, but were you pretty on board with everything up until that point?
I thought it was kind of stupid. I mean, look at it from a 15-year-old's point of view. I didn't enjoy wasting my Sundays on it. I mean, I was drinking the Kool-Aid at that point in time, though. I mean, it is what it is. But after like that, kind of opened my eyes to like look at other pieces of it, and was like, yeah, that's super fucked up. Yeah, that's super fucked up. So I kept finding things. It's like after like that eye-opening experience, that I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of this.
Did you ever have like a moment when you graduated where you felt like you might go back and do like the mission thing?
So in senior year of high school, I actually almost ended up going back to the church.
Really?
Yeah, it was end of junior year, beginning of senior year. I was talking to a couple different people, but Taylor Beard, If you remember her.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, so we ended up talking a bunch, and I don't remember what we ended up, like, we had a pretty deep conversation about the church. Then I started going to, like, seminary, like, it was more a college thing, I can't remember what they call it. It's not seminary, it's institute. So I started going to institute things with her, and so, I mean, I almost went back. I decided against it, even though I was pretty interested in dating Taylor at the time. I know she was dating somebody not too long after that, but yeah, I was pretty interested in dating her at the time. And honestly, at that point in time, I wasn't terribly interested in that, but I mean, I wouldn't have said no.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have said no, but
I don't think anyone would have with that particular individual at the moment.
no, I mean, she was gorgeous. Still is.
I think every single person in that school had a crush on her.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I almost ended up going back, but I didn't. I mean, there are some people that I probably could have ended up dating more long term if I had been part of the church. I firmly believe right now I'd be married to one of them.
I'm sure.
If I was still part of the church, because I mean, we dated for a bit, and then that was kind of the thing that broke us up. Is she asked me, I was like, well, what's your? I want to get married in the temple. What? Is that something you could do eventually? And I said, honestly, I don't foresee that happening, and I don't want to do it for an individual. I would have to be doing it for myself, because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so we ended up breaking up over that. But
it's the fascinating part about Utah, and why I think it's important to talk about, is like we have a culture where like literally relationships get lost on things like that, you know, and because like I don't know, I get like life's probably easier when you are
formed the majority religion.
Well, and I imagine, especially in a partnership, if you're both a part of the same religion, like especially here in Utah, it makes things a lot easier.
I mean, even outside of Utah, I mean, there's a lot of influence with the Catholic Church on that as well.
Yeah.
Utah, it's a little bit harder because they view themselves in a mirror of what other people see them. I mean, everybody's nosed into everybody's life, and I think if I had grown up outside of Utah as an LDS person, I still would be.
Yeah. Interesting.
Up until about 2018.
Because that's the one thing that always blew my mind, is like the getting married in the temple being such a thing, right? Like if you don't get married in the temple, you pretty much are damning your afterlife 100%.
And all of your children.
Yeah, and all your children.
And your posterity. Yeah.
And I just, you know, when people start hearing things like this who aren't a part of the church, you just kind of want to like tell people, like you just want to like tell them like that's no.
Yeah.
It's not
how it works.
It's not how life works. Like,
yeah.
But the judgment here is so strong, and the loss of community, and
it's the loss of community that a lot of people fear.
Yeah, I get
because
it.
they don't see. Well, because they're not looking for the community that exists outside of it. I mean, they don't see that community because the only thing they can see is the one in front of them.
Yeah, and I get. And the thing that I always have to drive home is like, if you're happy, that's the best part. The individuals who aren't and are scared and questioning, like, you just got to know there's a lot of us out there who are ready to open arms. Open arms.
There are a large amount of communities, a varying amount of communities on what their beliefs are towards the church, even if they were LDS or not.
Yeah.
I know that there's the ex-Mormon Reddit can be interesting with some of the topics they discuss, and there's a lot of hate for the LDS Church on there.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a position, I don't hate the LDS Church. I think there's some stupid shit they've done, but every religion's done stupid shit.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the fucking Inquisitions. Like, it's not alone in that, and no institution like that is perfect in any way, shape, or form. I don't agree with a lot of the hate that they get just by being the LDS Church.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have.
I think that's counterculture in Utah. I mean, I think there's some things that definitely are justifiable. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of old racism that still exists.
There very much is a lot of racism, sexism,
and sexism, and the anything to do with LGBTQ plus is very, very bad when it comes to the church. But here's the thing that I always say: they'll backpedal.
Yeah,
they'll change up their look because they're already getting so much hate, and they're getting so many people who are like, "Well, what about my friend Jim, who's gay? Jim's awesome. Why? Yeah. What's the problem?" So I think they're gonna backpedal on that because that's what they've done. That's their history thing. Is like, oh, okay, well,
the blacks can now suddenly have priesthood.
Yeah, like
after 100 years.
Yeah, you know they.
Now,
what are you looking at? Shadows? Yeah, he's really like shadows. You know, they backpedaled on that because they were getting pressure from, you know, everywhere because they're like, yeah, that's fucked up. You know, and now they're getting pressure from the LGBTQ plus. I think they're going to get a lot of pressure with marijuana over the next 5-6 years.
Well, they're part of the reason that it's not fully legal.
Oh, 100% the reason why it's not fully legal. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people, with all the Silicon Slopes and the power shifts that are happening down there where it's not LDS companies coming, you know, they're pushing for a lot of shit like, hey, why are you guys acting like this? You know, why are you guys doing these things?
It's not their little paradise anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, that's scary. And, you know, I feel bad for those people who are scared with these power dynamics that are shifting and aren't going to continue to shift. You have to keep in mind, though, when you live in a bubble for so long,
bubble's gonna pop.
Your bubble's going to pop and you're going to start realizing a lot of different things. So I always tell people, like, if you have questions, there's a lot of people to reach out to, and there's a lot of resources to go and answer those questions. And I know you're not supposed to. You got one life.
I mean, I just do your research. Figure out what you want, what's best for you. Don't care what other people are telling you what's best for you.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. That's the thing that I didn't know for a long time is they tell you not to go research. They tell you not to go digging too deep.
Yeah.
You know, don't go dig too deep into who Joseph Smith was.
I mean, there are a lot of historical records that are really super fucked up at the church. But, I mean, again, if we want to look back in some of the history of the other churches, not exactly a clean record there either.
Yeah, church in general, religion in general, has not been very friendly to humanity.
No.
A lot of good has come from it, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's a lot of small good things and then a lot of really big bad things. A lot of war, a lot of fighting, a lot of violence,
a lot of anti-change. Like they didn't like change.
A lot of hate. You don't fit the mold.
Obscene amounts of hate.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, eventually there's gonna be a religion that shows around. And they're like, hey, we just fucking like really love hard. Come hang out. People are gonna be like, I could use that.
Buddhists pretty much do that.
Yeah.
Certain sects of Buddhism, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Utah is just still one of those. I think Utah is one of the last fascinating states when it comes to things like this, is because it's still like we could talk about like the South, but that's a whole different outlook we could be, because like it shares similar things, a lot of hate, a lot of discrimination. But the thing with a lot of the South, in my eyes, is it's education.
Yeah.
Here, our education is fucking bomb. It's just tied with the church.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
There are pieces of our education that are literal hot garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, compared to some places, I think that we
do decent.
Yeah.
I know we're in the middle of the pack on education on some things, and then we're also on the lower end on others, so it just depends.
I mean, there's definitely ties in with the church, because I remember growing up and doing church activities in school, and that 100%. Wouldn't fly anywhere else in the country.
Depends on the type of school, but agree.
Yeah. I mean, I believe at Woods Cross there was a Last Supper hanging at one point. Not Woods Cross High, elementary. And that's not.
Yeah, that okay. Shouldn't fly.
But that was like 20 years ago. So it's just, I don't know. Utah's cool. I don't think I'll ever leave, to be honest with you. I thought about it for a long time. I thought growing up for a long time that I was like, because I grew up without LDS anywhere, like aside from peers, I didn't go to church. And when I started asking questions, I was like, this is wild. That's really my core belief system on it is if you aren't taught these things at a young age, you're not going to believe them at an older age unless it's for certain reasons. Whether that's community, partnership, or whatever it is you need.
Yeah.
If you are taught them at a young age, it's easier to go back to as well. But when you're not, and then you go and you find these things out on your own, it's a weird thing to try and comprehend.
Yeah.
You know, the first research I was doing was reading shit about the founding and like how it came about. And if you aren't told these things at a young age, you're immediately like, okay, come on. Come on. Like, come on.
Dude staring into a 10-gallon hat looking at a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, like, it's interesting. But I know a lot of people are very passionate about it and have belief. And if that's true and you got that faith and it makes you happy, that's awesome.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all I ever want to get through with this conversation is if you're happy, I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm trying to talk to the people who are not happy and are scared and feel like they're doing everything for the wrong reason.
Yeah, for me, it all comes down to the fact that I just don't like organized religion.
No.
It doesn't matter what one it is. I have done lots of research on different religions. I've been to a lot of different ceremonies, whatever you want to call them, church activities.
Same here.
Not interested in any of them.
Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't talked about this on the podcast before. For a long part of my life, I thought I was broken. Meaning, all of my peers at the time, like growing up, and like peers in high school and peers in life, like they all were like LDS or believed in a God or something like that. And I never have. Pretty much since I was a kid.
I mean, I've had that same thought. I've also been told that I was broken. So
yeah,
I feel you.
I've had people in the faith around here who are like, good luck with your life because you're fucked. In nicer terms. And,
I've straight up had somebody told me that.
Yeah.
With that exact verbiage.
I haven't had that verbiage before. But
I had somebody who I refused to go to church with because I was sick that day, actually. Not because I didn't want to go to church, because I was sick.
Yeah.
Tell me to fuck off on my doorstep.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Get the hell off my doorstep.
See, and that's the thing is, like, there was parts of my life where I thought I was, like, I was broken because I was like, why can't I believe this? Why is my brain so, like, not okay with just, like, being like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it came back down to, like, well, you know what? To myself, I can't pretend or fake it. If I believe it, I believe it. If I don't, I don't. And it took me a while to, like, come to terms with it, but, you know, I was just talking to one of my buddies about this. There was this term that I used, like, because I used to be a little bit more aggressive when it came to the LDS faith, and used to be a little bit more combatant. I'm not anymore because at the end of the day, like, the only way there's ever going to be equal ground is if the groups can talk to each other and hug each other after and still be okay. But my biggest thing was always like,
no, you got to elbow tap.
Yeah, you got to elbow tap.
No hugging, no goddamn it. Stay the way.
6 feet. You know, LDS religion or Christianity or Catholics, you know, there's 2,000-3,000 gods that we throughout our history. I believe just in one less one than they do.
Yeah.
You know, one less one.
Yeah, I mean, some of the religions I did do. I mean, I like to do more research on. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence there. Was like the Greek pantheon. I thoroughly enjoyed the Greek and Roman pantheons. I believe that if there is some sort of gods, it's going to be exactly like that. Because, I mean, to make humanity the way they did, or however, God's gonna be, if we're made in their image, God's gonna be just as fucked up as we are.
That's the thing that I think is more realistic. Is like a lot of people try and live their life like it's in this perfect, like we have to be in this perfect image. If there is a God and we were created after him, there's no such thing as perfection.
Nah,
it doesn't exist.
Zeus is trying to fuck everything. That
Yeah,
fucking
dude, Zeus
walks.
is horny as shit, bro.
Well, and actually, I heard a really cool argument for why that was, and it's because his grandfather and his father were both defeated by their youngest child. So he's just like, I'm never going to have a youngest.
Yeah,
I'm going to have all of them.
I also, if I were to dabble in any belief systems, I definitely like more of the pagan route, just meaning like, if there are things, I think it's like something controls seasons and something controls...
kind of the Native American thing, everything has a spirit.
Yeah, everything kind of has a spirit.
Or an energy.
Yeah, energy is a tough word for me, kind of like how spirituality is a tough word for me, because it's grown into this weird, like, new age thing where it's, like, cool.
It's always just electricity to me.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm over here, a dude who works with circuits. It's like, that rock is smarter than me, but it's just electricity.
Oh, I had a question to ask you,
Sure.
too. Do you know what Beetlejuice is?
Beetlejuice is in the movie?
No. I can't give you any more else. This is a bet that I made with someone earlier.
Do I know what Beetlejuice is?
Talk about space.
Oh, space. I believe that's a constellation, is that not?
No. Okay, hey, if you're listening, you know what I want. I'll tell you after the podcast. Okay. Thank you. I had an argument where someone said, everyone knows what Beetlejuice is. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever heard of it. And apparently it's a star that's like either a huge green star that either has blown up already and we're seeing the energy being blown up, or it's about to blow up and it's so powerful that we can see it now. Yeah. I've never heard of this before in my life. Damn. Yeah. God damn it, got you. I'm going to really good bet because of that. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Whoop whoop over that ass too fat. Whoop whoop.
The funny part is I've even taken a bunch of astronomy classes.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either.
I was like, wait, are we talking about the movie here? Because that dude's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice.
Michael Keaton's amazing.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's the man. Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice is great, but
God, I need to go watch that shit now.
I watched it not too long ago.
I own that shit.
It's still really good. It's still wild as shit. When it blows up, we will not have night for at least 3 days. I've never heard of this.
So there's actually a historic precedent on that. If you're talking like a supernova, there was actually a supernova in like the 14th, 15th century that it lit up the night sky as if it was still like mostly day for like a week.
That's so weird.
There's actually like historical records of it. They had no idea what the hell was going on. There's a bunch of songs. There's actually a play that has it as a part of their, like, they talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of, like,
so
references
it impacted history. Like,
yeah, there was a bunch of references to it, because they're like, well, are we going to die now? Like,
what are you more scared of, space or the ocean?
In what context? Like, being in one of the two of them, or, like, just in general?
General.
I don't give a shit about the ocean. I mean, there's a shit ton of stuff in space, it turns out.
Yeah, space is really scary to me.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there's just these floating boulders that could just wipe out the entire planet.
Yeah, there was one, like, was it 2 weeks ago that was
it was
big
like
enough?
December or something like that?
No, there was one this month that they said was big enough that we were going to see it. And, like, in our night sky here, I wasn't able to find it. But, like, if it, like, made a little bit different trajectory, it definitely would have just killed all of us.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like,
fantastic.
Sweet.
Yeah, so, I mean, in that context, I'm 100% more scared of space. The ocean generally is not trying to kill me in Utah.
Yeah, that's why I stay. I like the beach for, like, a week.
I mean, I've been on cruises. I've been out in deep ocean.
I don't know what it is. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what it is, and I haven't said this on stream before because it's super embarrassing. I still don't know how to swim, Ryan.
I can help you with that.
Everyone says that, and no one takes me. I just
go to a pool right now, bitch.
Yeah,
let's go.
And I know that
the best part is we probably have to break into somebody's backyard because there ain't any pools open right now.
I'm cool with that.
Let's just go break in. Let's go kick in some glass at the Bountiful Rec.
They're gonna be like, why are there two bearded men in my pool?
Why is one holding the other up trying to learn?
That would be a funny scene. You're like, no, you gotta relax. And they're like, what the fuck? No, I'm terrified of the ocean. I'm way more scared of space, but deep water scares me. Just in general. I think, A, because I don't know how to swim, but B, I just, something about it, like, what's down there? You know?
Yeah.
I don't have conspiracy mindset on it by any means. I don't think there's, like, civilizations or anything, but...
The thing for me is, I was around deep water, like, most of my childhood, so it's not really an issue for me. The thing that I don't love when I'm in deep water is when I, like, can see something below me. That part's, like, not a large fan of that.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Like, there's a couple places, like Lake Powell, like, there's underwater, like, trees and shit like that. It's just like, well, if there's a tree right there, and I didn't see it, if I jumped onto it, I'd fucking hurt and or kill me. So, there's things like that.
Hey,
but,
chill, bud.
He fine.
He's a he. I always get compliments by his name. You get played?
Yep, I threw it right in the middle of the divider. He like ran like full steam and almost ran into it. He's like, motherfucker.
He's a pretty smart cat. We'll see if he can get it. His name is Mr. Meowgie.
Mr. Meowgie. I love it.
Now space, the more I get into researching space, the more I'm just like, this is not okay. Why are we doing this? You know, it's
something that's just there. We can't do a damn thing about it. Holy shit, you're gonna knock that fucking thing over.
Hey, you got it. Knock it over, dog.
Oh, there you go. He's got it.
He'll learn a shitty lesson. He does. It's like that whole thing where people say, like, if you don't know quantum physics unless you're scared of it.
Yeah.
And, like, the more, I don't know.
The more you know about it, the more scared you are of it.
Yeah. And I don't know anything about it, but the little, like, I read this book that was literally, it was like, you know those books like So-and-So for Dummies? I read a book that was like Quantum Physics for Dummies.
That yellow covered shit.
Yeah. And I was like, man, this book is fucking haunting.
Yeah.
I get...
the problem is it's up off the ground, stuck in the fold.
You got this, Meowgie. Good luck. I guess we can finish on this. I want to try and get in between that 2.5 to 240.
That's fine.
Is there any, like, I don't want to say conspiracy theories, because that's such a ugly word now. But is there any theories that you have where it's like, I don't want to say it goes against the grain, but maybe is not as publicly mainstream? Because your brain's fascinating. Take that as a compliment. Thank you. I'm curious if there's anything that you like.
Not really. I generally have to have a lot more information about a topic than I tend to spend time researching.
Yeah.
And just random topics to form an opinion like that. I generally don't have far out there opinions. It's just not my personality.
You kind of more the math science, if you can prove it, it's there. Or if
yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion we could use God or a god or energy of some sort. Sorry, your cats make me laugh, but
they'll get it eventually.
The way he was on the backside, had his paw all the way on the outside, just like tapping against the side. So that was making me laugh. But yeah. So with the God thing, is like a lot of people are like, well, I'm either atheist or I'm theist. There's not really in between. I am damn right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle. It's like, well,
agnostic,
you can't.
Right?
Yeah, I'm agnostic. So you can't prove to me that there is a God. You can't prove me that there isn't a God. There's probably some sort of fucking energy up there doing something, spirit, God, being,
right,
fucking Matrix, mainframe. Who fucking knows?
yeah,
I mean,
we're in a sim.
I mean, looking at some of the sims at my company, there's some interesting things like that. So I'm very much middle of the road person on a lot of things. So I don't have a lot of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm definitely leaning more towards atheism, but I'm not. I don't want to be grouped in the atheism world now, because now atheism is its own religion. They just got tax. They aren't a taxed organization anymore, and
Okay.
they're a whole entire sect, and I'm just sitting here like, this is what we didn't want. Like, you guys are taking the things like,
yeah,
because money talks. Money talks. And,
so, yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that.
And I don't want to be grouped in the atheism world. I don't believe in a God that we conventionally want to think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's where I leave it at, right? That's where I leave it at, is like, if there's something, I don't think it's anything that we have any idea of right now. Kind of like how tech is, right?
Yeah.
Where like we can have this vision of what like AI might be in 20 years, but reality, AI in 20 years might be something completely different.
Correct.
That's what I look at as like a potential what a God might be to us. I think that it's so unfathomable with what we know as humans and what we think, that if something were to come, it would be like completely mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I there was a quote or a friend of mine who told me at one point in time that I'm gonna go help the cat out.
I feel bad now. Hey, get it. There you go.
I don't even remember what I was talking about.
You had a friend who was
a friend that had a quote. It's like, and he was a Catholic, pretty devout Catholic. He mentioned, he's like, I don't know whether this is a quote from him or like somebody else. Probably somebody else. But he's like, I wouldn't have. I don't believe that even if I had the wrong religion, that since most religions teach that God is like all forgiving and good, that God's gonna sit there when you show up and it's like, hey, I don't know you. It's nice to meet you. And they're gonna say, oh well, you're the fucking worst person I've ever met. Go to hell. It's like literally, you're never gonna. If you teach that God is omniscient and all forgiving, then, and this is like some sort of trial, then why in the hell would somebody say, you knew nothing about me, there's no possibility that you had any idea what religion was correct.
Yeah.
You had no access to it. Yeah, fuck you, you go to hell.
That's
like literally makes no sense to me.
Oh.
He didn't even see it.
Bro, it's
there you go.
Hey. Oh. We'll figure it out.
I was looking up the ceiling and looked down and was like, where'd it come from?
I guess that's kind of one of the reasons too why I'm not fearful of anything that is going on in my life as far as like if there is a God, because I live my life as a very good person in general. And that's
I'm just kidding. Right? I'm just kidding.
Like, I know what you did back in summer 2011.
It's a very specific time. Would you like to speak about that?
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Listen, my therapist couldn't even handle. No, I live my, and that's the conversation that's always fascinating to have with people who are of like a high religious morality is, I think they unintentionally think that people who aren't are bad.
Well, I mean,
I think it's unintentional. I don't think they mean to do it. I think that they purposely do it. They just think you can't be on the same level of kindness because you're not part of the religion. When in reality, that's not how the life works. Like,
some of the nicest people I've ever met are the most atheist people I've ever met.
Yeah, I think too. And to piggyback on that, some of the people who don't judge the most are atheists.
True.
Because like why do I care? Why do people care?
It goes back to a story I read once about this elderly lady whose car broke down on the side of the road, and she described the three gentlemen that stopped in a car, pulled up in this little van, and they all got out, and they're all wearing chains, platform shoes, trench coats, really long spiky hair, and she thought she was going to die. Three of the nicest people she's ever met.
Yeah.
So it's kind of goes back to the old adage, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's too why we're seeing such a... I don't know why we're seeing such a huge increase in tattoos. I like it. I'm planning on being inked pretty heavily in the next couple years.
Yeah, my first tattoo is going right here, but I don't have the $2,000 it's going to cost me.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's just fascinating that we still do, like... I think humans just judge, and they don't mean to, off of appearance. And
we're visual people. We're visual individuals.
We're visual creatures. But it's going to be cool when we get to really break down that barrier. Because, yeah, some of the nicest people that I've ever interacted with in my life are people that I don't think I ever would have interacted with unless I would have reached out.
Part of it comes back down to evolution. We evolved into a social being that was a product of our nature / nurture. I mean, there is most of it is nurture versus nature. Sorry, I had it backwards. We're a product of our nurturing. So where you grew up and everything, and your mind doesn't process change or difference on the same level as it does what you grew up with.
Right.
So there's this fascinating piece about evolution that it's like, well, you judge somebody quickly that doesn't look like you because
it's different.
It's different and it could be dangerous. Mm-hmm. It's kind of goes back to the fight or flight.
Yeah, and I think too that. I think that hits the red on the head. I don't know if I have anything else to add to that. I think it's just. I think we are getting to a point where that human characteristic is slowly starting to fade, and I do think that that's partially due to social media, right? Because we're able to see so many different human beings and so many different human beings who are doing good. There's bad, of course, but we get to see so many individuals who look way different than us, who act and speak and live their lives totally different from us, but that we're still able to connect with them on some sort of level.
Exposure.
I think social media does a lot of bad things for us as humans, but I do think that as far as connectiveness goes, I think that we're getting closer to be able, well, I don't know. I think that we're getting closer to, how do I word this? Differences being more embraced versus not.
Yeah.
But we're far from where we should be, and I don't think there will ever be a point in time in our lifetime where hate doesn't exist for the reasons that we still are hating. But I do think that we are hopefully making steps. It's just humans are imperfect creatures, and there's not a easy way to.
Yeah, I mean we're a product of our nurturing. It turns out that if you were hit as a child or abused as a child, you tend to abuse your children.
Yeah.
Or if you were raised by a racist individual, you tend to have racial tendencies, racist tendencies. So
I think the real way to fix this, and this is a hot take, stupid people just need to stop fucking and making more kids.
Unfortunately, we're going in the exact opposite trend.
Yeah.
Because stupid people don't really think about the fact that they have to pay for those damn kids. Whereas smart people budget out everything and only will have one or two.
Yeah, well, and stupid people just are like, oh, fuck. And that's a hot take, I get it, like, but there's a point in time where we need to really start thinking about, like, I don't know, never mind. That's a quick road to getting canceled by dumb people, but I just think there's a point in time where we really need to sit down as a society and talk about who can be producing children. But then I get that.
Then
that's
we're
a slippery
I was
slope.
gonna say we're gonna start talking about the Chinese trying to control
Yeah,
how many kids you can have.
That's
and
what I'm saying. Like I can't.
Or
I
they
don't.
had a whole generation of men because they wanted their family name to continue.
Yeah, I don't actually think that for individuals who want to, but stupid people are having sex at higher rates and having more kids than they should.
Well, think about. I don't need to put a condom on this time.
Yeah, it feels better, baby.
I hate that justification.
Yeah, or just don't have sex. I don't know. Sex is pretty cool, but like, you guys remember that old Vine where he's like, you know what's better than really good pussy? A book. Like the kid on the piano. I think he says, what's better than pussy? A really good book. He's playing some piano chord.
Good old memes.
Good old memes. All right, Ryan. Let's call it for tonight.
Sure.
You're still not doing much social media, right? You're kind of the...
I have 0 social media unless you count Snapchat.
Okay. So I always give the last couple seconds before I mention sponsors to shout out anything, but I don't know.
I do 0 posting on social media when I did have it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was very much a lurker, if that's what you would like to call me.
Yeah, I mean...
It was where people watched.
No. Oh, okay, well, hold on. What makes you not ever dive into social media, do you think? Do you have a reason?
Not interested in broadcasting my life.
Respectful.
I don't think I talk my ass off already. I don't need to find another place to do that. I tell the most random stories at work. I have no filter.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much ask me. I can't think of a single topic that I wouldn't just straight up answer.
Nice.
Unless it was something to do with work, because that part I can't do as much. But my personal life, I don't have any problems answering questions about. So that part, I just don't see the reason to add that to social media. I don't care what my peers think of me generally.
Mm-hmm.
Do not actually give a shit. So
it's probably I don't know, I'm curious, do you think that you live a less drama
not even
life?
slightly.
Oh, no?
Fuck no. No, my last breakup was more drama than I ever wanted in my entire life. So
I think we talked about that a little bit with, well...
the married girl I was dating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
married woman.
Tough venture to get into.
Yeah, she has
do you ever get, because I know you're dating online a little bit, do people ever like get off put that you don't have social media?
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
Huh. They don't think I exist.
Oh, so they think you're like fake, like a fake account?
Or they just don't even talk to me.
Huh. Yeah, I never thought about that perspective of like not having social media might be weird for people who are super into social media.
Not interested in people that have that opinion. For me, at least. As a significant other.
I always tell B-Bird that if I decide that podcasting isn't my passion, that I'm not going to have any of it. I'm probably actually going to get rid of my smartphone and go back to like a flip phone. I fucking hate it, to be honest with you.
I have the same phone, and it works. Yeah. I've had this phone for almost 6 years.
Yeah, I really actually despise social media. I strictly use it as a tool to try and grow, and for my new position, obviously it's important. Yeah. But if the podcast falls through, I'm out. I don't like Instagram.
The only social media I have is out of necessity. I guess I do have one type. It's LinkedIn, but that's
business. Yeah,
but I don't.
That's necessity. Yeah,
don't really spend time on there. It turns out.
I would keep TikTok just because it entertains me.
I have never actually had a TikTok account.
TikTok is like, I don't know what it is, but for me, TikTok is like...
I've seen a lot of TikTok videos.
The way that they cater content is so brilliant. I don't know what kind of algorithm or bot or whatever they run, but literally the only content that I get aside from like some of their popular creators is just shit that I like. Gaming, cards, space.
They probably leverage Facebook.
Paranormal. you know, that whole list. They say that it's based off of what you like, so the more shit they like, they try and link it to give you content that's similar. And you know, I thought that was super cool. But TikTok's just funny. It's grown into itself. It's like Vine, but I think it's better.
Vine has died.
Yeah, Vines no longer exist. All right, if you guess what I roll on this D20, you get a special prize.
7.
Yeah, it's a 10. Fuck. Rip.
What was my
Your
special
prize was a big pack of Tums.
That's not even Tums, you bastard.
A big pack of ultra strength antacid from Costco.
I only knew that because I have that exact one in my house.
Price is Right, where you got to guess how close the price is. $3.30. Oh, $5.76.
Those are 7 something for 2 of them.
Yeah, the 2-pack. Yeah, those are way better than Tums too.
Literally just bought that like 2 days ago.
The best container. All right, guys. Well, since you don't have any social media shout out, I just want to thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure.
Hell yeah, man. Anytime.
I do want to do another episode, and I would like to get into. I want to get into some more deeper subjects as far as like maybe pull up some impactful moments that happened like to humans as we were growing up, like 9/11.
Okay.
You know, maybe I want to talk more about the pandemic. I know there was a couple things that happened while we were in school that were big events. Explosions. Earthquake that we had recently.
You know, fun fact on that one. Wasn't even here for it.
Oh, you weren't?
I was in fucking Boise.
Oh, well.
Yeah. My house was 10 miles from the epicenter, and I was in Boise.
Wow. I was, where I worked at the time was pretty close. I think we were we're kind of by the airport. Yeah. And that was fucking sketchy. Yeah. Because the equipment that we use and we work on is heavy as shit. So we use like 2-ton cranes to move stuff around. And we had just recently put shit on our table, our benches to work on. And then the earthquake happened. It was like 20 minutes earlier. Shit could have been on the crane flying around. Like, the factory we were in was really big, dude. It felt like we were on a huge skateboard for like 10 seconds.
One of my coworkers almost got crushed by a tire at my.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we have really tall racks that we store our inventory on, and a lot of the upper racks were dumping pieces off, and he had to dive under the bottom of one rack to get out of the way. He was one of our lead inventory techs.
I don't think anyone lost their lives though, right?
No,
that's good.
No, we didn't have any injuries either. I mean, he just got out of the way. I mean, it was just a 5-foot tire bouncing down the aisle.
Well, I mean, in general, I don't think anyone died.
Oh yeah, nobody died.
Yeah.
There was a couple injuries, but not many.
Yeah, it was a scary moment. That was my first earthquake, so
I felt a couple of the aftershocks. The funny thing for me was I was Boise for that earthquake, and then Boise had a 6.5 when the day after I came down here. So it was like I missed both of them.
It's weird because they said that since that earthquake, there's been
10,000 earthquakes or something stupid like that. It's a large number.
I wonder what it is that's out there. Just a fault.
There's like 7 fault lines that run through this basin.
I know, but like specifically down in that, is it on the mountainside that is the fault?
Yeah, it's over there in Magna. Yeah. I was gonna say there's a fault line out there. I mean, there's also that huge ass copper mine that's out there too. So
probably not doing a lot of good for the ground.
No, probably not.
What are we gonna? Yeah, copper. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do want to shout out our sponsors again, Monarch Social. Go check them out, guys. If you are looking to progress your company, build a website, get postings done for you, make your website have better search results. You want to get on the front page of Google without paying for it? Reach out. MonarchSocialBrand.com. Happiest Med, premium CBD for everyone. It's happiestmed.com. Dark Prime Collectibles. Get on your magic game. DarkPrimeCollectibles.com. They have a store online. See you guys next week for the podcast. 6 p.m. Aiden is returning. That is Dick Skin. For those of you who know that story, he's coming back for a second show. That same night, there'll be another 9 o'clock episode like Ryan's tonight with Curtis Levitt. I imagine we're going to be diving into a bunch of World of Warcraft again. Curtis is always a great guest. And then Monday through Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m., I will be game streaming still. We'll get back into those spooky vibes. All right, everyone. Thank you again.
Have a good one.
And we'll catch you around.
Bye.